everybody. Would you believe that it's Christmas in the potting shed?
What gives you that idea?
I don't know what gives me that idea.
Gives you that ridiculous idea?
You look ridiculous.
I know. I do look ridiculous.
In the best possible way. I think it is fantastic, don't you?
Yeah, I'll have you know, this tie was very expensive.
That tie is amazing.
Savile Row. Yeah, handmade. Savile Row.
Well, Adam, you always impress us with your shirts. Now you're impressing us with your ties as well.
Yeah, only for this one show, though. Yeah.
I love that. Stu just said multiple elves died in order to make this tie.
No
elves were hurt in the making.
No.
But lovely to have your company. Thank you so much for coming to join us on what is our last live show from the Potting Shed of the year. But please don't worry, we do have some shows going out for you over the next couple of weeks. We did pre-record some. There'll be one on Boxing Day. There'll be one on the 29th. They'll all be available on YouTube and on the website, so you can still get your gardening fix as and when you want to get that. But for today, we have the wonderful Adam joining us in the Potting Shed.
And the wonderful Bex.
And we're very, very excited to be here. And we're getting on. We were just talking about, and do you know what? This is something you can share. We were just talking about roast potatoes, and actually it's made my mouth water a little bit because we were just talking about it. Yeah, very true. Stu's telling me we will have our potato kits coming out in January if you're thinking about it. But we want your top tips for the best roast potato, please. Obviously, we're all thinking about it. We were sharing our top tips. What is your best top tip for making the best roast potato for your Christmas dinner? Yeah. Let's have all your suggestions.
Do you have mint sauce on yours?
Oh, no.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I have mint sauce.
Mashed potato, maybe, but not roast.
Oh, no, I always have mint sauce on my roast potatoes.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
No matter what the meat? Oh, no, you're not a big meat eater anymore.
No, we're having a goose for Christmas Day.
Oh,
so,
fancy.
yeah, we have goose every year.
Someone's doing well, eh?
Yeah.
Apparently that's traditional. That's what we had before turkey. I didn't know that.
I'm not a big fan of turkey. I find it a bit dry.
No, I'm not. Me too.
Yeah, but goose, oh, lovely. Only once a year. It's a nice treat.
Oh, very good. OK, so we were asking you some questions on Thursday, weren't we? For those of you who were watching, we were talking about your gardening journeys, your biggest mistakes, your biggest successes. We were asking all of those sorts of questions. This is our favourite one right now, which is what was the biggest risk you took in your garden in 2024? We'd like to get your answers, please, for this. So, you can email us, ygtv@yougarden.com. You can put your comments on YouTube, on Facebook. We will read those out for you. If you want to know my answer, you need to tune in for the pre-record shows released on Boxing Day. But for now, we're going to be asking Adam some questions today. So, Adam, in 2024, what was the biggest risk that you took in your garden?
Well, I've got this, it was quite a large tree called a Paeonia in my garden. It has these lovely, great big heart-shaped leaves.
Right.
And then in the spring, it has these heads of gorgeous purple flowers. They're a bit like horse chestnut flowers.
Wow, OK.
But they're a purple colour.
Yeah.
And it got too big. And in theory, you're meant to sort of cut it down in April. That's when you should read it, but I didn't. So
you did what I do and just like...
Yeah, I just got...
We'll just do it, see what happens.
I started with my long arm prune. I started taking one bit off and then another bit off. And then I stood back and I realised I'd made it a bit wonky. So I started taking more off. And then in the end, I just said, oh, blow it. So I just got my ladders out and I got my saw and I just went thump.
Oh,
and just chopped the top off. And but luckily, it re-sprouted. And it sent up some really gorgeous, great big new shoots.
Were you thinking,
well,
this might not survive?
Yeah, well, what I was worrying was, because I left it quite late in the season, I thought, if I've cut this down now, I'm going to get it to reshoot just before autumn and winter kicks in. And then all the new growth is going to get really frosted. But I think it's going to be fine.
Well, we've had a really nice mild autumn, haven't we? So that's probably helped you.
Yeah.
If it had been a cold autumn, that might not have been the case.
Yeah, so, it was against my own advice. You know, sometimes when you know...
We always do
you're doing the wrong thing.
I knew I was doing it with my euphorbia earlier in the year. I knew I was doing the wrong thing.
You got away with it.
I knew it.
Yeah. But I've got away with this. I mean, they are normally quite hardy, but it's just that if sometimes new growth that sort of develops before autumn or winter doesn't always ripen enough. So in a really cold winter, it can be knocked back. Yeah. But fingers crossed, I think I've got away with it.
Very good. All right. So do we want to know mine? Mine? Oh, OK. Stu was saying we want to know yours. Not mine. Watch the pre-record to find out mine. We want to know what yours are, please. What was the biggest risk that you took in your garden in 2024? Did you prune something when you shouldn't have done? Did you move something when you shouldn't have done? Did you plant something where it shouldn't go, but actually it's worked out all right? Did you let the husband or the wife try out some gardening? I remember asking my husband to trim a big tree. There's this tall tree we've got, and I was like, I can't quite
right.
upper strength, loppers. I can't quite do it.
Did you actually quantify trim before you said trim?
No, he sort of knew, and I did specifically say to there, and you can see. So I made sure of that. But he didn't take any care about what he was standing on.
Yeah.
So he took our step ladders and just straight through the middle of my rhododendron, like right through the middle of it.
Ouch.
Completely demolished it, killed it. It was a couple of years ago, but I hold on to these things.
Still coming out over Christmas.
Yeah, it went straight through the middle of the rhododendron. I was like, did you not look where you were? Did you not look? No, not at all. Not bothered. Not bothered.
I do. I mean, I'm not maligning certain trades, but I do find that at work sometimes when people have builders in.
Yeah.
Or the worst, scaffolders.
Yeah, they don't care about the garden, do they?
It's like I turn up and it's like, oh, what have you done? It's like, and they put those little square bits of wood at the bottom of the scaffold poles straight on top. It's like, you've just completely destroyed that herbaceous border.
And he's like, well, what else do you expect me to do? Obviously, he or she.
Use your common sense, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's what you're meant to do.
Absolutely, that's what I thought as well. All right, so send us your emails. So you can you can answer this question on YouTube. I've got the YouTube chat open. Good morning to everybody. I'll go through that in a second. You can send your comments on Facebook. Stu is in his little shed just outside our potting shed, so he'll keep an eye on that. But you can also send your emails to us as well. ygtv@yougarden.com. If you want to add those into pictures, that would be amazing as well. Neil is saying lovely shows on QVC yesterday, Bex. Thank you so much. It was lovely to be back there. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate that. We do actually have another, is it 9, Stu? 9 shows, 9 confirmed shows happening on QVC throughout January. The first one being the 3rd, which I think is mine. I think I'm doing that one. I think we've got one on the 3rd, and I think we've got one on the 4th. I'm doing the 3rd, Sean's doing the 4th. Oh, and we do actually have another one on QVC before the new year, which is the 29th of December at 9 a.m. Sean will be there for that one. Is it a Sunday morning? Sunday morning, so you can get your Sunday morning fix of gardening. Just tune into QVC for that one, and then you can come in and you can tune into this one afterwards, because this one isn't live, so you can watch it whenever you want to. So in fact, actually, when you tune in, you can then rewind it back to the beginning and start again if you want to, because that's the beautiful thing about being able to sort of watch on demand, which is brilliant. So, lovely. Shall we get those answers in? We're going to ask some more questions throughout the show as well. We've got several of them, but let's get on with it, shall we? Because we've got lots of
other good news we've not mentioned, have we?
What, is this your big birthday?
No, not that. No, we're not mentioning that. No. Yesterday was a very, very, very important day.
Oh, yes.
Yesterday was
Adam
an amazing
is very
day.
excited about the shortest day of the year,
Yay!
as we all are, aren't we?
Yesterday.
Winter solstice happened. That was yesterday, which means that days get longer from here on in.
So
today is going to be longer than yesterday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is going to be longer than today.
So it means we're heading towards spring.
I know.
Not towards autumn.
So exciting this time of year, isn't it? Those dark evenings are going to start disappearing.
They will.
I mean, it'll take a little while,
and
but
the
they're going to start disappearing.
Going the right way now. Fantastic.
Right, we've got some amazing deals to show you. We're starting off with our pots offer. I don't know if Adam's paid attention to the price on this. Did you pay attention to the price on these? I know you're looking. Stu's taking it off the screen, so you can't see. I could see you looking then. It's all right. You won't get in trouble.
Okay.
Did you pay attention to the price?
No, I didn't. No. Like everyone else, I'm a bit distracted this time of year. There's a lot going on in there up there to.
All right. Well, you're going to be amazed, because all
Okay.
you have to do is choose your colour. What we've got here is the black and silver. We've got the more natural-looking one here, which I've forgotten the name of.
Terracotta kind of a colour, I guess.
Clay. That's the one. I knew it wasn't
Clay.
terracotta. Clay colour, but like terracotta. Or we've got the black and gold on this side. They are normally £12.99 each.
Right.
So what we've done is we've taken £1 off, £11.99. That's not a big enough saving, though, is it?
It's all right. It's not.
it's all
Don't knock
right.
your socks off, does it? But,
You'd be happy if it was a buy one get one free.
Wait.
It's not. It's a buy one get two free.
Oh, come on. That's insane. So,
Isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So you're going to get 3 of these. They're the same colour. You just need to choose which colour you want. They're 13-inch diameter. You buy one, you'll get 2 free. So that works out at £4 each if you're not in the club, £3.60 each if you are in the club. How cool is that?
Well, but you could, if you wanted to, order 1 of each.
Well, you could, and then you'll get 9.
Yeah. So,
you get 9 in total because you get 3 of each colour.
Yeah, and
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would, because if you get all 3 different colours as well, you can change the mood in different parts of the garden.
I like it.
I mean, you might be strictly themed, so you don't want the mixed colours, but you might. So you dance your way. But I mean, if you might want sort of terracotta pots in. Well, I prefer to call them clay. Sounds a bit, ugh, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's pterodota.
Yeah, pterodota.
Pterodota.
Pterodota. I think it's a pterodota. So is that some sort of dinosaur? But I mean, you might want the kind of the pterodota in one part of the garden. You might want the sort of the black and gold or the black and silver another part of the garden.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, we've also done larger sizes of these and slightly smaller as well, haven't we? In the Helix, I think we've got a whole family of these size pots. So if you've already got some of the bigger ones or some of the smaller ones, you might want to add to your collection with the different sizes, so you can create that lovely family of pots. We've actually paired the pots with some plants. Just a little serving suggestion. You know, the Loropetalum, which we've got available on the show, that one's going to work beautifully in the terracotta colour, isn't it? Because of the contrast of the colours. The beautiful Nandina. I mean, oh my word, that is amazing.
Nandinas, full stop, have got to be one of my most favourite shrubs.
Oh, honestly, they're bulletproof, aren't they? They're just incredible. But that looks great with the darker coloured pot. I mean, I put that with the gold one, but it could work with silver. I mean, I can see a garden centre near me charging between anything between sort of like they wouldn't shy away from charging you up to. I was going to say £19.99. What, just for the plant?
Just for the plant, yeah.
But if you were to get it in the pot as well?
I mean, they're probably 35 quid if you, sort of, if it was potted up in the pot.
Because it's that beautiful.
Yeah,
this is it at its best, isn't it? I mean, it's at its best all year round. But in the club, that entire look, you would get that for £12.60. Because the Nandina is on one of the best prices ever. We've got it at the half price at £9.99, not in the club, £8.99 in the club. And of course, remember, that was £3.60.
Whoa!
When it's in the club. So amazing. Just a bit of compost to go in there, and you've got a brilliant look. And I would definitely look at getting a pair of these, because bookending either side of that would look brilliant, wouldn't it?
No, Nandinas, they're kind of almost a little bit regal to me. They really are kind of the aristocrats of shrubs, because, well, I love that sound, for example, because you can see where they're
you just hold it up.
Where sort of the bamboo name comes, even though they're not like a true bamboo. But I mean, you've got the gorgeous red on those leaves all the year through. So I mean, in this time of year, it's even more fiery. But you've got evergreen, you've got evergreen, ever red. These do flower as well eventually. They have little conical heads of white flower, which are really, really attractive, and they can even set berry as well if they're happy enough. But tough plants.
Yeah,
easy
really,
plants.
really tough. So a wonderful one. And of course, we put the Calicarpa with the other one, which I adore. I love Calicarpa at this time of year. It's just fantastic for winter colour, isn't it? Remember, it is a buy one, get 2 free. So just choose the colour, or if you want all 3 of them, choose all 3 of them, put them in your basket, enter the code. Another 2 of each colour will be put into your basket absolutely free of charge. So that is our top tip for today. But what you will also get included in there, because we do have a free gift with every single order. I know regulars, you already know this, but for anybody that's tuning in who's brand new, we do a free gift with every single purchase. Sorry, every single order, I should say. It's not limited to 1 per customer. You can place multiple orders in a day. It's absolutely fine. There's no rules against that at all. And every time you do, and you enter that code there, YGTV 5124, it unlocks the deal, like the buy one, get 2 free or the savings, but it also puts your free gift into your basket as well. And for this one's called the Endless Spring Mix Collection, a lovely collection of bulbs. Yeah,
you've got the Caniculatus there as well, that lovely Narcissus, really super fragrance as well, those gorgeous little delicate flowers. You've got this fabulous tulip, almost like a species kind of tulip there as well, and Muscari, or the Great Hyacinth. 3 fabulous bulbs there that are going to come up year after year after year and give you quite a long flowering period as well.
Yeah, and they're all all coming in individual bags as well. So you've got one big bag that labels them on the front, but inside they're in individual bags too. Slightly different look to each of them as well. So they're just they're kind of a little take on the original, let's say. So, you know, with the tulip, for example, it's a shorter flowering tulip, slightly earlier flowering as well.
Yeah, those ones do come sort of a bit early, and you've got that gorgeous, gorgeous yellow kind of centre there, and then there's lovely pink sort of pointed petals. So, you know, if you're in a sort of a windy position, or if you want some tulips to grow on a rockery or in a hanging basket or a window box or something like that, they're absolutely fantastic. The little narcissus there, the Canaliculatus, that again.
Yeah, you can. Moving on.
Depends what mood you're in. Yeah, really, really fragrant, these as well. And isn't it gorgeous also when you get the fact that the petals, the outside petals are white?
Yeah, lighter.
Yeah, and
I
you've
like
got the little yellow eye, the little yellow centre to it, which is absolutely
really like
stunning.
this on the muscari because, you know, the muscari I've got in my garden, for example, it's blue all the way up, but these have got that lovely little lighter tip at the top.
Yeah, little extra blush on the top. Then they're called grape hyacinths because if you actually hold the flower head upside down, it looks like a bunch of grapes. So that's hence how they got their common name. But they're great for sort of spreading and naturalising these as well. So once you plant these, they'll seed, they'll sow themselves about, and you'll get more year after year after year.
Well, they are free with every single purchase. We have lost the details on the screen at the moment. Stu is kicking the computer to make it all work again. But they will be added to your basket when you place your order. There is an offer code you need to use, which is YGTV5124. When you go onto the website YouGarden.com to place your order, there's a little box just on the right-hand side that says, do you have an offer code? That's where you put that code in. That's how you unlock the savings. That's how you get your free gift included. Also, the other thing we're going to tell you is to join the club, please. Please join the club. There is never a better time to join the club than now. We are not allowed to say any more about this. There is a reason why, if you're not a member of the club, you should join now. You'll find out from the 6th of January. But if you're not a club member already, you'll thank me for telling you to join it now. Join it now. Join it now.
I joined this year.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I joined it.
You will be very grateful of that come the 6th of January.
And that's my husband's birthday, 6th of January as well. So lots of reasons to be cheerful on the 6th of January.
Go. All right, shall we... Is there anything else I've forgotten, Stu? I have one more. Free postage over £40. So that is unlocked by entering that code as well, remember. You don't have to get to £40, but if you do, you will get that free postage. So we'll take away that postage cost. If your order is under £40, we will only do one postage cost. So even if you've ordered maybe 6 items, they've all got postage attached to them, but you haven't quite hit the £40 mark, there'll still only be one postage cost, which is normally capped at £6.99. Quick one on the Calicarpa, which genuinely really is one of my favourites at this time of year.
They call it beauty bush or beauty berry, and it's not surprising, is it? Because, I mean, this time of year, I mean, they almost look artificial, don't they? I mean, those berries are just so stunningly beautiful. Those purple, shiny, deep...
They've got like a pearlescent finish to them as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're like a metallic.
And when you know, I mean, I've seen shrubs of these get into about a couple of metres tall.
Yeah. And
about a metre and a half wide. And when you see them on a winter's day smothered in these berries...
Well, this is what I think about this. So imagine this at full size. You know, this can get to a couple of metres, as you say.
Yeah.
I mean, it can get probably up to 3 metres, but it responds really well to pruning, so you don't have to let it get too big. But just imagine it that big, smothered in these beautiful berries on the bare stems. I think that's going to be incredible.
And really easy to grow as well. In fact, I've seen this do quite well in shady positions. I used to look after a garden in Sudbury, and they had a border that was north-facing, and there was a Calicarpa there. And every year, whoa, it just looked absolutely spectacular. Of course, you've got the flower to start with, and then the bees come along, they do their magic, and then you get these fabulous, fabulous berries. And if you've got sort of a larger shrub as well, this time of year, you can cut some of those sticks as well. You can bring them in.
I like this, particularly this time of year. You know, this is a wonderful thing to start using for your decorations.
You can do the centrepiece on the table for Christmas. You know, the sort of Christmas lunch table. Put some of these little sprigs of those in there. Whoa!
And this one does really well on its own as well, doesn't it? Because there's other Calicarpa you have to plant in groups in order to get decent berry production.
No. This one. I mean, this one is self-fertile. So yeah, I mean, I've seen these grow on their own, completely on their own, and you do get those berries very, very easily,
Yeah.
and huge clusters of them. As I say, on a winter's day, you get those lovely blue skies and you get the sun on one of these. You'd almost think they're artificial, but they're not. You can get this beauty in your garden.
It is beautiful, and do get hold of that because we have got a half price deal on that one today. It's £14.99. The item number is 510525. So make sure you go to the website to place your order, enter the code to get that saving, and you will get an amazing half price deal with that one. We do have a question for you, which is why I was just grabbing the iPad in case anybody has answered it, and that is, what was the biggest risk that you took in your garden in 2024? Yeah, did you do Naked Gardening Day? I did. Did you do Naked Gardening Day?
No.
Next year. I'm going to make you do it. I made Sean Ryan do it.
Oh, I did
I'm
say
gonna
I'd
make you
it
do
next
it.
year, didn't I? Yeah.
I'm going to make you do it next year as well.
How naked do you have to be? Like,
You know, you have to be naked,
Naked.
but you don't have to show anything.
Okay.
You cover your bits up
all right.
strategically with some kind of plant. Did I do any gardening? No, I just ran outside. Got my husband to take the picture and ran back in again. Anyway, I'll get you to do it next year.
Okay.
Let us know what was the biggest risk you took in your garden in 2024. You can send us an email to ygtv@yougarden.com, or you can email us on, you can message us on YouTube or on Facebook. Let me have a little look on Facebook. Everyone is saying good morning. So good morning to Elaine, Neil. Good morning to Grinny as well. Oh, Neil's order has arrived. Received my latest order yesterday. You got the hot air balloon. He got the Santa hot air balloon. Oh, he got the Christmas gonk as well, the pansy-filled hanging basket, and the Crown Imperial bulbs. Well done to you.
They are gorgeous. They are. I love those.
And Elaine has sent a picture apparently, so I'll just quickly go into the emails and have a little look what's in here. We do have pictures. Elaine, passion lime in the Somerville pot. Oh, the cordyline. Oh, that's amazing. That is beautiful. And she's got a mulch in there as well. She's got the bark chip in there too.
Jo, that is such a classic look. That is spectacular.
That
what you've
really
done
is.
there.
I loved those Somerville pots. They were really good.
Yeah, that looks really, really sharp, doesn't it?
And you know what? That's going to live in there for. That can live in there forever because that Somerville was a really nice deep pot as well. And as that gets a little bit taller, Elaine, what you can start doing is maybe underplanting the cordyline as well.
Yeah, and I just love the way it's sort of highlighted against the wall there as well. That nice white wall behind, really making that stand out. Beautiful.
Right. So, we're at the Turtle Paradise here with Dingo. So morning, Bex and Adam, and Merry Christmas to you and the gang. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Dingo and the boys and girls at the Turtle Paradise.
I love turtles.
I love this.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Look! That's such a tranquil, gorgeous space. I'm just going to zoom in so we can have a little look at all the turtles. Look. Dingo, Stu's asking, will you allow visitors? Because if we're ever down that way, Dingo, we would love to swing by and have a
does
little
that look?
look.
That environment they've got. Look at that beautiful
That's amazing.
foliage and growth, and there's a gunner there. There's some aces, and whoa.
Love those. Look, aces in there.
Those
Dingo
aces.
was sharing more pictures earlier on in the week because it must be at the front of his house, isn't it? Where he's got all the lilies were amazing.
Yeah, that whole border of lilies, basically.
Love it. Thank you so much for sending pictures. You can do that. Details are on the bottom of the screen there. Look, ygtv@yougarden.com. Remember to answer our question as well. So tell us what was your biggest risk you took in your garden in 2024. It doesn't have to be World Naked Day. It could be something actually gardening related, if you like. Let's talk about Loropetalum, though, shall we? The black pearl.
I guess if it was Naked Gardening Day and you were hedge trimming, that could be quite risky.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, that could be a risk, couldn't it?
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
You're going to stand back doing that, aren't you? Be like this doing it. Right, we've still got the Loropetalum.
Oh, I like that.
Never mind.
We've
It's
got an Australian.
Loropetalum.
Is it an Australian variety?
Right, this one is £10.99. We are saving £4 here. It's in the 15cm pot. We adore this plant, not only because of the dark foliage, but also because of that bright pink ribbon flowers that you get from it.
Yeah, and another good thing as well, like the Nandina we were talking about, this is another evergreen plant as well, so it looks good all the way through the winter, so you're never left with just bare sticks. And the foliage, I mean, the foliage colour is phenomenal, but then the flowers, I mean, you get these like witch hazel type flowers, and they are absolutely beautiful, and they're fragrant.
I like the way it grows as well. It's kind of, I mean, Sean always talks about this one and how it works really nicely with acers as well, because it does have kind of a zen quality to it, doesn't it? And the way that it arches as it grows.
Yeah, I'd kind of almost say like plants, it kind of tumbles, doesn't it? It kind of sort of tumbles down on itself and just gives that lovely kind of gentle, relaxed feeling. It's got a similar growth habit to an acer, hasn't it? Because acer do the same kind of thing, and it will grow in very much the same areas as an acer as well. It doesn't mind a bit of dappled shade. It likes quite a nice moist soil as well. So, you know, it's happy in those positions. It's a great pot plant if you want to grow it in a pot. That one there, I'd say, is probably about 3 or 4 years old. You know, kind of maturing to that size. And then you get these beautiful, beautiful, really unusual flowers that just sort of cover the shrub.
And these sort of seem to happen at quite weird times, but, you know, I mean, there's sort of a flowering season for it, but it does seem to throw out flowers on a sort of semi-regular basis, doesn't
just
it?
randomly, every so often. I mean, like other plants, for example, wisteria. We talk about wisteria, don't we? And that's like a main thing. And then every so often when it feels like Ceanothus, they do that, don't they? They have a main flowering time. Every so often they just send out a little blue flower here and there when they feel like it. But any time of the year, this shrub is going to be an interesting shrub because it's always evergreen. It's, you know, it's never just bare twigs or bare sticks. So you're always going to get that fantastic interest. And as I say, if you've got a shady area, if you've got a sort of a damp, cooler area that you struggle to grow other shrubs because there's not enough sun, something like Loropetalum will quite like to be in those lower, shadier, cool, sort of damp areas. It will thrive in those sort of places.
Absolutely. Well, should we have a look at it in somebody's actual garden? Because Sean's mum's got one of these, and he was showing us how he's created this lovely zen area in her garden using the Loropetalum.
So I'm actually in my mum's garden. This is what we call her little oriental garden. I mean, the rest is really traditional over there. But I want to show you one of the most striking plants. It's called Loropetalum. It's really unusual. I absolutely love it. So it is evergreen, and the foliage is the most incredible, intense burgundy. That is so beautiful. But in springtime, this flowers. And the flowers it gets are almost like little clusters of crimson ribbons that look like fireworks. I love the fact that it's very slow growing, so it's not going to be invasive. It's got a lovely tranquility, and I think it works really well with things like acers, cordylines. I've got the Charlie Boy there. Also looks great next to water features, Buddhas, that kind of look. But it is a beautiful, beautiful plant. And I adore the way it naturally grows. So it kind of meanders. It just gently kind of trails over the edge of pots and things like that. It's quite low growing, but that colour foliage and the shape of the leaves is just spectacular. So if you order yours now, get it established for springtime, and you wait in kind of March, April, you get the most amazing flowers as well. It's known as Loropetalum.
It does look good, doesn't it? I really like it in that white pot.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
Contrast the foliage brilliantly, doesn't it, in that pot as well?
510604 is the item number. If you're new to us, you've only just joined, you're like, what's going on here? You can actually buy plants. Yeah, you can. Go to YouGarden.com. That's the that's the website where you go. The item number is what you'll type into the search bar to bring that plant up, and the details for it. The offer code, YGTV5124, that's what gives you the savings on the plants that you can see. We've got a £4 saving on this. But my top tip to you is to join our club. There is a little box that says, do you want to join our club when you place your order? Join the club. I promise you, you will thank me for that, because you're going to save an extra 10%. Not just on the... So you'll save the £4 on the Loropetalum, but then you'll save another 10% off that. It costs just £5 to join right now.
And then there's going to be
and you're going to get 10% of saving off everything you buy for the next year. That's the club savings discounts at the moment.
Hey, you're going to get me in trouble.
OK. I didn't say what it was.
So it's a really good time to join the club right now, is all I'm telling you. And it's £5... I'm so in trouble. It's £5 right now, and it's a 10% discount right now. So that's amazing, and that's going to be for the full 12 months when you join the club.
She mentioned it, not me.
I'm not allowed to say anymore. Let's move on. Pansy Cool Wave, here we go. Oh, Stu, I've got a video and I forgot to send it. While you talk about Pansy Cool Wave...
Is it you doing your naked gardening?
No. Talk about Pansy Cool Wave. I'm going to find my little video.
Well, great thing about Pansy Cool Wave is they're probably flowering for a longer longer period of time than what they're not, which is absolutely phenomenal. They are slightly fragrant as well, and also they have this tumbling kind of habit. So, I mean, they're not like Saphinias. They're not going to trail down like a couple of metres or so, but you can get this look in a hanging basket like this. And what is fantastic about these as well, they are super, super winter hardy. They can take stupid amount of frost. And you'll go out on a frosty morning and you'll see these and they'll look like somebody's played a rugby match on top of them. They'll all be laying flat. They'll look really, really sad. And you'll think, my goodness me, these are just not going to recover. But late in the morning, come midday, when the sun comes up, they all lift up again, they all perk up, and they will keep giving you that joy, that colour, all the way through the winter. They will flower through to springtime. They start flowering in the autumn. In fact, we say sort of 8-9 months, don't we, sometimes?
We say up to 10 months, to be honest with you. They can just keep flowering. It's just that really hot bit in the summer that they don't like. And by then, I mean, depending on when you planted them, they're probably just getting a little bit tired and a little bit leggy anyway. So you trim them back, put them in a cool place, you know, around the corner of the house or something, bring them back out in early autumn.
Yeah, give them a feed,
give them a feed, give them a water, and they'll get going all over again.
Yeah, and they are absolutely incredible as well, because you literally get hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of flowers from a basket full of these as well. And you've got that fantastic colour mix. I like the fact some of them are solid colours.
Yeah.
You've got those solid whites, those solid yellows, and then some of the sort of bicoloured ones as well. So you're getting that really incredible mix of flower colour as well. And we had a little sniffathon with these, didn't we, early in the year? Because did we?
We thought that the yellow ones smelled more fragrant than the other ones, didn't we?
Yeah. And,
we did look it up. It's not true.
Because Stu, I think, Stu, you said white flowers are the most fragrant, didn't you, in the world? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, the tuberose and jasmine is... Oh, tuberose, I love it. Anyway, I want to show you my Pansy Cool Waves just to give you an idea. If you don't know that they are amazing, let me show you, because these are currently planted outside the front of my house. Now, that's the pot that's got the copper shield fern in it, as you can see, and you've got all of the beautiful Pansy Cool Waves just tumbling and trailing, and so many flowers just around the edge there.
When did you put those in, Bex? How long ago?
Those were... September?
Wow, yeah.
September, actually probably October, actually probably halfway through October.
So 2 months of flowering pretty much already.
I mean, they really got going, and they're looking amazing. Let me scroll on to the next one, because actually I've got another one here, which is the lovely...
it's another cordyline, isn't it?
Oh, which cordyline is it? Was it Torbay? Maybe it was Torbay Dazzler.
I think it is Dazzler, that one.
But then I've got the lovely Cool Waves just going around the bottom of there as well.
And you can just see there that they are just starting, aren't they, to kind of just tumble and sort of hang over the side of the pot, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And in that pot, I would say there's... 5. I reckon I put 5 in that pot. So really only half of the pack that we've got here. So yeah, I mean, you put in there, I think I put a few more in there. I think I really filled that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, probably about 5 or 6 I put in that pot as well. So that's just the other, so I've got matching pots on either side there. I've also got some, can you see the pot at the back that's got the Phoenix canariensis? Yeah. I've got some in that pot as well.
And the thing is, I mean, we're literally just past the shortest day as well. So even though we're just past the shortest day, they were still flowering even at that. So really, that's going to be the worst they're going to look. I mean, as the days start to get longer again and we start to get more sunshine, they're just going to keep going. So they really are a revolution, aren't they? In the kind of, in the sort of pansy flowering world, really. Oh, sorry, spit in there. It's not good.
Let's carry on with our winter colour theme, shall we then? Because this one is fantastic. Clematis. Why do we grow clematis? We grow it because it's quite vigorous. Yeah. That's what I think. If you want to cover something quickly, you're going to put a tray.
Climbing. You've got a head full of roast potatoes and turkey, haven't you? That's what you're thinking.
And that
last present to wrap up. We're all like got our minds in 2 places at once, aren't we? Really.
Yeah, Stu's right. Bex is on holiday. Oh no, she's not. She's doing a family trip to the supermarket this afternoon. I am as well. I'm dreading it.
Lovely.
I'm dreading it. Taking the kids to go Christmas food shopping.
That'd be nice.
Anyway. Climbing plants. If you're trying to plant something climbing that's vigorous, you're going to choose a clematis most of the time, aren't you?
You would, yeah.
But the problem with clematis is, normally, they disappear.
Yeah, they do. And then, some of them are a bit annoying anyway, because some of them have a habit where they go absolutely berserk, and then you end up with all the flowers at the top and all the foliage at the top, and then you end up with all those strands and straggly stems at the base that are really boring and disinteresting. With this one, this is an evergreen clematis. And again, I can think back to a house I used to look after in, not Walthamstow.
Bishop Stortford.
No, No, it was near
naming all the places you normally say.
They had a garden at the end with a lovely sort of archway, and they had this in their garden for years and years and years. And I always remember that we used to do a big garden tidy about this time of year, and it would be flowering about this time of year. It'd be flowering in the winter time, and just smothered in these fantastic, gorgeous flowers with this wonderful, wonderful evergreen foliage. And I mean, when you look at the flowers as well, you can see straight away they call it freckles because all the little sort of dappling on the petals there. This is a really, really stunningly beautiful clematis.
It is beautiful. I love it. And the fact that it flowers for ages, the fact that it is evergreen and winter flowering, I mean, that just ticks all the boxes. It's 550221 is the item number. It's only £5.99, so I would definitely grab hold of that. Maybe a couple if you're wanting it to sort of grow up and over something, so you can have one on either side. That would be perfect. I was just checking out the YouTube chat because there's a whole conversation in here about mince pies. Stu started it. Hang on. Everyone festive? Who's had a mince pie today?
Oh, not today, but...
Elaine? I don't like mince pies.
Oh.
Neil? Same here. I prefer Christmas shortbread, says Neil. Do you like mince pies?
I absolutely adore mince pies.
I adore mince pies.
I love them.
I used to hate mince pies. I thought they were disgusting.
I have them with
now...
yoghurt.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have them with plant-based yoghurt.
Nice.
Big blob of yoghurt on top.
I mean, I honestly used to hate them, and now I am a big fan. But I like the... So this is where I'm a bit weird. I like the miniature ones because I think the pastry to filling ratio is spot on, whereas the big ones, there's too much filling to pastry ratio.
This is so funny.
It's about getting the right ratios.
Oh, it's so funny to talk about it because last night I was watching BBC and they had these 6 episodes of Fanny Craddock on.
Right, I love Fanny Craddock.
From 19...
I mean, if not only for her name.
Oh, she's a terrifying woman she was. Oh, my God. We want her on shopping telly. But, and she had a whole 10-minute programme last night about mincemeat and how to use it. And, wow, I don't think you kind of want to eat mincemeat like that now, but she made mincemeat pancakes. She made like a mincemeat sponge. There was a lot of mincemeat going on.
Just stick it in some pastry and have
but I agree with you. Like,
you've got to get the right ratio. The miniature ones that they do in that supermarket. Love those.
And I never buy the El cheapo ones because sometimes they put a lot of peel in them. I don't like it when it's got a lot of peel.
I agree.
Or sometimes they have those little hard bits and you think, well, what's that? But
although, Neil, I'm with you on the shortbread. I do love a shortbread. Christmas shortbread is amazing.
I've never had Christmas shortbread.
Well, it's just shortbread.
Oh,
it's
is it?
Just shortbread
okay.
at Christmas.
Oh, fair
it's
enough.
Christmas shortbread.
Okay. I thought it was something special to it or something.
No, it's just that it's at Christmas. Okay. Love a shortbread. I make good shortbread.
You make good.
You
bought that gorgeous thing back in the summer, that crispy, crunchy kind of.
I haven't made anything for ages.
That was gorgeous.
I'll get back on it.
Was it like made out of Rice Krispies or something you did? Had Rice Krispies and chocolate and...
No, that was me...
It was really crunchy and chocolatey.
Oh, my God, Stu, what do you call it? Tell me.
It was lovely.
Rocky Road.
Yeah, it was lovely.
It's Rocky Road.
Yeah. Good.
It's got marshmallows and chocolate chunks and digestive biscuits and golden syrup. Yeah, and no raisins. No dried fruit in that one. This is all about the sugar.
Yeah. Because when you're on air for 4 hours as well, and
need a sugar rush,
to eat, something like that gives you a good old sugar boost.
All right, what else are we talking about for Christmas? I haven't had any top tips for roast potatoes yet. Has anybody got any top tips for roast potatoes? I think I make a good roast potato, but I'm always up for, improving my game. I want to improve my roast potato game.
It's definitely the heat element. You've got
to be hot.
You've got to put the pan in
oil.
and heat the tray up before you put don't put them on a cold tray and then put the
I don't. And Adam's not going to like this because you're not a big meat eater, are you? White meat only, right?
Yeah. I don't
much.
eat any lamb, beef, or pork products.
Yeah. So I like me lard and me Wagyu beef dripping. I like that. That's good for spuds.
Yeah.
That is really good for spuds. The flavour you get from them is nice.
Although,
but obviously, there are non-meat alternatives if you'd like to.
Well, Stu's just saying about goose fat because John and I always have a goose every Christmas. So, or to rephrase that really, but we'll cook a goose every Christmas, and using the oil from the goose creates fantastic roast potatoes. Really, really nice.
Oh, I'm so excited! It's all about food, isn't it? That's what Christmas is all about. It's just food. It's just food. Stu just said, I love how we're having a serious discussion with a man in antlers, but also that ridiculous tie.
Yeah, do you think it'll wash?
No, don't put that in the wash. It'll fall to pieces. It is amazing. Have you made it yourself, or did you buy that?
No, I bought it in a pound shop.
I love it. It's brilliant. Right, come on. Let's talk about hellebores, shall we? Because hellebores, this is a great thing to have in your garden at this time of year. If you want to get colour in your garden, you know, all year round. I'm not saying these are flower all year, but if you do want to get colour in your garden all year round, this is a great one to cover the winter season.
It is, and in all my customers' gardens, the hellebores are now all emerging. They're actually earlier than normal, but
yes,
loads of stuff is. I mean, a lot of winter flowering stuff is going to be, if it stays this mild, a lot of stuff is going to be probably a month earlier than it normally is. I mean, we're seeing daffodils in people's gardens already 3 or 4 inches out of the ground. I mean,
I know, it's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, somebody who was it? Penny, I think it was. Penny emailed me the other day, messaged me saying that she saw daffodil flower. Sorry, Penny's one of our regular viewers. But she messaged me on Facebook and said she saw an actual daffodil in flower the other day. Like, I've seen shoots coming up, but they're actually in, like, one had popped up and it was in flower. I
think there is one called January or February Gold, and that is normally early flowering. But, yeah, when you get weather as mild as we have had, they will be even earlier. And, say, I was working in a garden in Cambridge this week, and gorgeous little clumps of hellebores in that garden, and the flower stems are all just starting to emerge. And what I've been doing this week, I've been taking all the old leaves off, because all the old leaves drop down sort of this time of year.
Right.
And I find if you take all the old leaves away, it opens the space up for the flowers to emerge, and they're not all hidden by the old sort of manky foliage that's sort of been there from last year. Yeah. But, you see these on a winter's day, and they are just so spectacularly gorgeous. These almost kind of what I call decoupage kind of flowers, these sort of layered flowers. And can you believe that a flower that looks so fabulously delicate and vulnerable decides to blossom like this in the midst of winter? These really lift your mood. And look at that, Bex. I mean, you would definitely do a bit of a squeeze and tease on that one,
because sure.
You've got such a fabulous root system on that.
They're circling, aren't they? They've really circled around there. So I would definitely be giving this. I mean, I'd probably soak this a little bit actually, because it's quite tough. So I'd probably just give it a little soak, loosen it up a little bit, and then just squeeze and tease those roots out a little bit just before. You don't need many, just a few of them. Just pull those out so that they'll go into the ground rather than carrying on circling. But they're fantastic quality, really well grown on, come to you in our greenhouses that are fully recyclable. So just give them a little bit of attention, a little bit of love once you receive them. And yeah, they will be good to go, ready to plant. 480961 is the item number if you'd like to grab hold of those. We are saving £5 on that, so 25% saving on there. Let's move on to one of the most bulletproof items that you can put into your garden, something that Adam uses a lot in his planting schemes, something that I have right now as the centrepiece on my table outside, my sort of table display that I've got just outside the kitchen window. That is the centrepiece.
Yeah.
And you can see why, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely stunning, and it should be $14.99. It should even be $19.99. I've seen some garden centres sell plants this size for $24.99. I mean, these are the aristocrats of the shrub world, these kind of plants, Nandinas, because they look so elegant. They look regal to me almost. They've got this gorgeous, gorgeous new red foliage, and whenever the foliage comes through, the new foliage is always that lovely, lovely deep red, and then as it matures, it goes down to that kind of greenish colour. And they're also called heavenly bamboo. They're not bamboo, but when you hear Bex kind of caressing that foliage, it gives that bamboo kind of sound, doesn't it? Yeah. It sounds like wind blowing through a bamboo. These will flower for you as well if they're really happy. They have conical shaped flower heads, which will also form lovely red berries. And these aren't very fast growing. I mean, they get to sort of about a couple of 2 or 3 foot tall. They form a nice sort of mounded dome kind of shape.
Yeah, it's lovely the way it does that, actually.
They're bone hardy. They're stupid drought tolerant. They'll grow in full sun. They don't mind a little bit of dappled shade. They're probably one of the most rewarding, one of the most easy shrubs that you can grow, and you can grow these practically anywhere in the UK.
You really can. I mean, they are tolerant of so many different locations in a garden, but also different locations in the country. You know, these are quite pollution tolerant. They'll grow quite well, you know, near the seaside as well.
Yeah.
All different kinds of soil. They're really not fussy. So 510823, absolutely one of our favourites. You know, it's got to be on the list of sort of top favourite plants, things that, you know, so many people would be able to grow in their gardens. 510823. I'm just going to to grab the Nandina actually because we're going to talk about those the pots again. And these are incredible value for money because what you're getting with our Helix pots is a buy one and get two free. So all you've got to do is choose your colour. We're going to give you some serving suggestions just with the shrubs and plants that we've got here.
I was looking round for as well to see if we've got anything else. Bush, well, the other things we've got, I haven't got foliage on, have they?
No, we haven't got the foliage, unfortunately, but we have on these ones. So look, but the Nandina could go in either of the darker coloured pots. So I've currently got it in the black and the bronze. It's got that lovely kind of bronzy gold tinge to it. But it could as easily go into the black and silver as well.
Should we do a swap?
You just want the dark colour of the pot, I think, to sort of highlight that foliage. Yeah, I think it works either way.
Either way.
The only thing I probably wouldn't do is put the Loropetalum in one of the darker ones, but that would work in there as well. Yeah, I think it looks nice. Well, I mean, I prefer it in the darker pots personally.
See, you could do that in there if you decided to have like sort of a white gravel.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
we were talking about that.
Otherwise, you know, if it's kind of that in there, it kind of can get a bit lost, can't it? But
yeah.
put a nice
put a bit of white gravel, and it would really then
work. That could work, couldn't it?
Yeah. Actually, I do quite like that. That's quite moody and dark, isn't it? I like that. So all you've got to do, excuse me, is choose which colour of pot you want to go for. Because the two free that you get will be the same colour. It's not a mix and match here. So if you choose for the black and silver, which is what's on the screen at the moment, put that in your basket. You enter the code YGTV5124. The other two will appear in your basket and they will be free of charge. If you want all three colours, put one of each into your basket, enter the codes. You will then get 9 pots in total. 6 of them will be free. Plus, you'll get your free gift included as well, which is your bag of the endless spring mix. 3 different types of bulb in there. So you get the free bulbs, you'll get 6 free pots.
And when you're going to get an offer like that again, I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal. Because again, I've noticed in garden centres that the price they charge for plastic pots sometimes is really, really crazy. And you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting garden centres down all the time. There's fantastic garden centres out there, and they do bring fantastic things. But you know, sometimes we do have the edge on things like this, don't we?
We definitely do, because you're actually cutting out the sort of middleman here. Because we could sell to gardens, and we do in actual fact. We do, but then they've got to add their cut on top so they can make money. Actually, we've cut out a step here, which is why you actually get better prices from us here at YouGarden. And I'm
kind of just thinking as well about ordering one of each of these, so you end up with 9 pots in total. The fact now that we're actually heading towards spring rather than heading towards autumn, you know, if you've got 9 of these, you know, you've got 3 of each. You're going to find reasons to fill these up really quickly.
Also, it's great to have spares as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've done this a couple of times. For example, my Osteospermum Purple Sun. They were doing really well, but I needed that pot for something, and I didn't have another pot. And I was like, well, it's getting to the end of the season. They're going to go soon anyway. And I took them out, basically, to replant them with something else. But actually, because it's been so mild, they probably would have kept going for another month, 6 weeks, whereas I took them out. So it's always good to have some spare pots, basically, so you don't end up doing things like that.
And let's face it, it's not going to be long before we're talking about freesias, and we're talking about begonias, and we're talking about dahlias. And if you've got these pots already, just waiting in the garage or whatever, you know, you've got those pots there at the most crazy price, just ready to plant up, ready for all those bulbs and tubers and things for next summer.
Get them ready. Right, Stu's made that little basket up for you, so we can see we've got one of the Helix silver planters in there, but the code has been put in, so we've got 2 free. We've got one of the bronze, we've got 2 free. We've got one of the clay planters, and we've got 2 of those absolutely free. Of course, we put a Nandina in, why not? And there's the free gift included in there as well. Because we're spending over £40, the free postage has appeared. The postage has disappeared. And remember, there has never been a better time to join the club than now. If you add that to your basket, it costs you £5 to join today, but that is your only cost for the year. You'll then get 10% off every single plant and accessory order you place for the next 12 months. That is what the club is right now. Silence is golden. Wait till the 6th of January. We'll let you know more at that point. Right, so what we've got here is
You're
our bare root roses. Now, we've got a whole different variety included in here, and it is a buy one, get one free, but this is a mix and match, OK? So you can choose any two, put both in your basket, enter the code, and then one of them will be absolutely free. If you like this offer, there's more coming up in the Christmas specials, in the pre-records that we did, which will be available from Boxing Day, OK? So it might be you look at this and you go, well, I am in the market for some roses, but I'm not interested in these particular ones. Come back and watch those shows from Boxing Day, because there's loads of other varieties. Just trying to think, at least 10 other varieties that we had in those shows as well. Pick the two you want, put them in your basket, enter the code, one of them will be free. Let's run through these varieties that we've got here, because we have got some really beautiful varieties, starting off with our oranges and lemons.
They are, and I mean, yeah, I mean, you can see what's called oranges and lemons. You've got this sort of bi-coloured flower on this. So you've got those two different coloured colours in one flower, which is absolutely phenomenal. So you don't need to buy like an orange rose and a red rose. You can get both in the one. And it was weird, because on the way here, or yesterday, I was thinking about bare root roses.
Yeah.
And they kind of reminded me of something a bit seasonal. They reminded me, in a way, of Jack and the Beanstalk. Because, yeah, you know when sort of Jack came back and he had these handful of beans,
yes,
and his mother thought, "What the heck, you know, you totally mad son. What on earth is going to happen with them? You've just got some dry beans. We're going to get no result from those." Well, I thought that's a bit like how you can think about bare root roses. You just got this twig with a dry root on the bottom, and you can show that to somebody and say, "Idiot, what have you bought there? What's that going to do?" But just like those beans, you plant these, you give them a bit of care, and like magic, they will grow for you.
It is amazing. I mean, I've planted several bare root roses now in my garden, and it is incredible how once spring comes, you do see that lovely growth coming through. Loads of our customers have had results from this particular rose as well. Who was this one, Stu? I've completely forgotten the name. Alison, thank you. Sorry, Alison. Look at that beautiful rose that Alison planted. And I love that, getting, real results. I can tell you mine, I can show you my pictures, but it's lovely seeing your pictures. So we really appreciate it when you send those through to us. ygtv@yougarden.com if you want to.
And it's the value thing as well, because when you fast forward 6 months and you've got a potted rose, you can be paying 25 quid, 30 quid for one rose in a pot. And there's, that's not likely to be any more successful than a bare root rose.
No, this is the thing.
Yeah.
We plant the bare roots, and that's what, when we're bringing potted roses to you, that has come from a bare root rose. And that's not because we have got expert growers here, but anybody can do it. And it's a bit of a gardener's secret, isn't it, buying the bare roots? Because that's how you get the best value for money. $19.99, but that is the price for two, because remember, you will get a buy one and get one absolutely free, and you can mix and match. So is the second one going to be the Abracadabra? Very similar, I think, because these are both created by the jumping gene. That's how you get the mixture of the colours here. But I think this colour mix is special.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, you just look at that flower. That is so unusual, so different. That's going to be a real talking point. I mean, just imagine picking a bunch of those as well, half a dozen of those, and putting them in a vase in the living room somewhere in the kitchen. I mean, goodness me, that is absolutely knockout. And what I really particularly like about this one, Bex, is where the edge of the petals sort of fold over and sort of curve over. It's, I mean, wow, it looks like it's been made out of some sort of fabulous sort of silk or velvet or something like that, or crafted. It's got such a beautiful look to it. And
I love it.
I mean, personally, I would go for the oranges and lemons and the Abracadabra and grow them in a sort of a similar part of the garden, because they've both got that similar kind of look. And they're in that same sort of colour range. You've got the oranges, you've got the reds. They would really kind of complement each other. And of course, you can always grow roses in pots as well. If you use a large enough pot, you can grow roses in pots.
I've got a couple grown in pots.
Yeah, they do quite
well.
Perfectly
all right.
Just one quick thing to tell you, and I'm just going to show you on this one here, because this one shows it nicely. These roses are budded or grafted, and this little knuckly bit here is called the union. And it's just really important when you plant these that the final soil position is about ½ inch or inch up on the green stem. Don't plant them with this knuckly bit standing above the ground. Sometimes I've been to places and I've seen this whole base and this knuckly bit standing out the ground. And basically, you've got half the root sticking out the ground. So make sure the soil at least comes half an inch or an inch up the first part of the green stem.
It provides stability as well.
Yeah,
particularly
it
if
does.
you've planted it in a more sort of open site, it will provide stability to that plant. So if it gets a bit windy, it'll
and
help
it's
keep
more
it in the ground.
likely to produce extra stems going on in the future. It is a thing that professional gardeners have argued about over the years, but the vast
Honestly,
majority now.
There is a big debate, and you go online and you
Yeah.
read. Some will say one, some will say the other, but I think the most
is now, and
very
that's
much
how I've
below.
done them. I mean, I've planted, well, it's my first job when I left school working for a rose grower, and over the years I've always planted roses just that little bit deeper. I mean, normally we always say the same level, but just about half an inch deeper. Gently tread the soil down around them, give them a good water in, use some mycorrhiza as well around the root system before you plant them, and that way your bare root roses will establish and just give you years and years and years of flower and colour.
The next one is a great one if you want something a little bit more compact, because this one isn't going to get too huge, is it?
No, you can actually grow this one in pots if you want to as well, and it has a sort of a nice sort of soft fragrance to it. Most of these roses have got really good disease resistance as well, so you're not necessarily going to have to worry about all those problems that can affect roses, and you don't need to think about spraying them. And look at this though, I mean, look at these little plants. It's like a little floribunda, this one, isn't it? These little sort of masses of
smaller flowers, but lots of them.
But en masse, So, I mean, with a hybrid tea, you'll get a gorgeous big rose on a long stem. I call them like your Valentine Day kind of roses. Whereas with your floribundas, you'll get masses of smaller flowers on the end of one stem. But how gorgeous is this pink? That's a really deep, luscious...
I like it because it's not a red. I mean, it sort of is a red, but it's more raspberry, isn't it?
Yes,
so it's that in between of a pink and a red.
It's a deep colour. It's a deep, lustrous kind of colour. It's and it's a very definite, strong colour. And that picture there, we've got a little bit of the dew as well, kind of on the edge of the petals. I mean, that's probably first thing in the morning, early June, perhaps July time, and that's just getting sort of dried off by the sun, and then those flowers open up. You've got that fragrance, and of course, if you've got this in a pot, then you can just move it to wherever you want it to be. So when it's in full flower, you can have it right outside the patio doors, enjoy the flowers, enjoy the fragrance, and then when it's finished flowering, take it off somewhere else. And all of these roses as well, if you deadhead them afterwards, and what I normally say is once the flower stem has finished flowering, if you go down to the point of the stem where it's about as thick as, I normally say about as thick as a pencil, or slightly, not quite as thick as that, but that, or a straw, drinking, sort of a drinking straw, then cut to an outward facing bud. All these roses then will reshoot, and they'll give you a second flush of flower later in the season.
540074 is the item number for the Raspberry Royale. It is a mix and match, so pick the two you want, put the code in, one of them will be absolutely free. Go to YouGarden.com to place your order, OK? That's where you need to go and just type in all your details. You can use the phone number if you want to speak to people tomorrow, so you can place your order tomorrow, and then the phone lines aren't opening again after tomorrow until the 30th, so just letting you know in case you do want to use the phone to place your orders. The next one we've got, so we've gone from Raspberry Royale to Raspberry Ripple, which is very much like the Abracadabra and the oranges and lemons with that jumping gene.
Yeah. Again, I mean, it just so different. So I mean, with that jumping gene, what it means is that every flower is going to be unique. It can never make up its mind how it wants the flower to be. So it's this continuous sort of different combination of genes that just keeps changing the flower all the time. It'd be quite weird if that happened to us, wouldn't it? One day we've got green eyes, one day we've got blue eyes, one day we've got ginger hair, one day we've got blonde hair, kind of changing all the time. But yeah, again, another stunningly beautiful rose, this one. It's a bicolour, it's disease resistant. Easy to grow. This one again, this is a floribunda, this one, isn't it?
It is a floribunda,
because you've got those sort of multiple flower heads on there, and again you've got the way those end of the petals sort of recurve. So I'm actually thinking now I'd probably want probably Raspberry Ripple, Abracadabra and oranges.
The annoying thing is I want them all. I want a massive garden, and what I'd really like is Sean's garden, where I could have a whole field where it would just be roses.
Yes. Well, it's funny what you say to that as well, because again, I remember my first job when I left school, I left school at 16 and a half, because I started doing A-levels and I got bored being at school.
When was that, back in 1822?
That was back in 1946. And... But I remember when it was flowering time, I used to love being out in the rose fields because it's just literally acres and acres of all these roses in all different colours, and it just looked remarkable. I'll never forget that. Absolutely incredible.
Adam's got a big birthday next year.
50.
A big birthday.
50 plus 10, yeah. I'm looking forward to the one the year after that because I'm gonna swap the digits around.
Swap it around.
And I'm gonna be 16 again.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, on the next one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna have an 80s reverse party. That's what I'm gonna do for my 61st birthday. So make 61 16 again. That's what I'm gonna do for that one.
I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna make so many comments about your age.
That's fine. I shall find a little chink in your armour and nibble away at that in the new year. I shall.
I love you, honestly. You only take the mickey out of people you love, right?
You do, and I don't care. I take it on the chin, on my very jowly, hanging down turkey neck chin.
Yeah, don't. Right, let's move on. This one's my favourite. Oh, God, can I say that? I do love this one. I think... I love them all. But genuinely, OK, this week I'm going for this one. This is the one I'm loving the most.
I nearly put my foot... Well, I'm not going to say I put my foot in it, but when I walked in earlier, and I think you'd put all these out, I was about to say, Bex, that's a peony.
Do you know
Honestly,
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
I
where
looked
you're
at
coming
that
from
because
with
I knew
that.
we were doing peonies on the show
Yeah, we
today.
have got peonies.
And I thought, oh, Bex, you've put the peony card up, not the rose card.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Because this does look like a cross between a rose and a peony, but oh my goodness me.
I like the crimped. I mean, they're not quite
look at
crimpy. The edges of the petals are incredible, aren't they?
I've not. Well, I can't really recall seeing a rose that has got that kind of craping, or whatever you want to call it, to the edge of the petals there.
It's like a fimbriata edge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is absolutely fabulous. And of course, probably, there's quite a lot of pressure if you're going to name a rose after,
the king.
The king. You don't want to, it can't be any old rose, can it? You want a rose that's unique, that's spectacular, that's absolutely sumptuous and gorgeous. And oh my goodness me, I can understand why this has been the most popular, because this is absolutely stunningly beautiful. That sort of soft pink with a little bit of white in there as well. Look at the foliage. Really healthy, vibrant green, disease-resistant foliage on that as well. This only gets about 80 centimetres tall. So it's not a really, really sort of super tall rose either. Again, you could grow this in a large pot if you want to. But yeah, I mean, I think today, out of all these roses, the only dilemma you're going to have is which one?
Which one am I going to go for? Right, it is a buy one, get one free. So all you have to do is choose which one you want to go for, or which ones rather. Put the two in your basket that you want, put the code in, and one of them will be free. So this one is the King Charles rose that we've just talked to you about. 540242 is the item number if you want to add that one into your basket. Some other things that we've seen today. This one is the Calacarpa. This is the Profusion Beauty Berry. We've taken 25% off the price here. It's £14.99, £13.49 if you are in the club. No better time to join. It's 510525. If you want some winter colour, go for that one. Also, if you want some winter colour, well, if you want colour all year round. I mean, this is our top tip. This is in my top 10 of plants, I think, from YouGarden. Honestly, completely bulletproof, can live in so many different locations, will like a full sun position, doesn't mind a bit of shade, pollution tolerant, can grow well by the seaside. This is literally the best plant for every single garden, I think. Just so easy. Berries, flowers, amazing foliage, and it never drops its leaves as well. So it's an evergreen. It's not deciduous. It's on our half price deal at $9.99, $8.99 if you are in the club, because you get that extra 10% discount. 510823 is the item number for Nandina Firepower. Sticking with the theme of winter colour, we've got the Hellebore Double Queen Mix. These come to you as 6 plug plants, so winter hardy. You could plant these out. I'd probably pot them on. I'd probably grow them in pots first of all, and then plant them once they've grown on a little bit. But they are winter hardy, so you can plant them out if you want to. 480961 for some of the most beautiful hellebores you can get. They're double, they're ruffled, they've got a lovely colour mix going on in there as well, and they are only £14.99. Freckles. Hello, Freckles. You're beautiful, you are.
Woodford.
Woodford?
That's the garden, yes.
Ah,
Woodford.
Woodford.
Not Walthamstow, Woodford.
That's where Adam did a garden that had the evergreen freckles planted. Now, it lived in there for years and years and years, and that's the beautiful thing about Clematis. Particularly this Clematis, though. This one's beautiful because it's evergreen, but it's also winter flowering. So a lot of Clematis will look straggly and rubbish in winter time. This is still going to have its foliage, and it's going to flower for a really long time. It normally starts in around November, but keeps going all the way through winter. Right the way into springtime, sort of April and May time, this can keep flowering for you. 550-221 is the item number. Oh, it's only $5.99 as well. Right, last chance for winter bedding. So, if you've still got some gaps, you fancy getting a hold of some amazing Pansy Cool Waves, which we think are the best trailing pansy you can buy. Well, we know they are. They outperform every other pansy. They are incredible. Then now is the time to get hold of them. It's a pack of 10 here of our garden-ready plants for £4.99. That's 49 pence each, or 45 pence each if you're in the club. That is incredible value for money. So yeah, grab yourself those, put them in pots, put them in baskets, put them in, just fill the gaps anywhere that you've got with those. 400967 for the Pansy Cool Waves. And, oh yeah, the Loropetalum, of course, the beautiful colour that you get from Loropetalum. The foliage on here is almost black. It is so dark, it's so beautiful. But then that foliage contrasts excellently with all of the other colours in your garden, but it also contrasts really well with the ribbon, bright pink flowers that you have on here. Works well if you've got acers because it sort of grows in the same way. It loves this, a similar location, but it has this sort of zen-like quality to it as well. So it grows in a very nice, neat shape.
Go on, Adam. Flowers remind me of? Definitely do it now. Do you remember that thing they used to have in the Olympics where the ladies used to go and remember the ribbon?
Oh, yeah.
Swelling the ribbon thing.
Yeah,
that kind of almost reminds me of that kind of display on there. It's got that kind of look to it.
Oh, I love it. 510604 is the item number if you would like to get hold of the Loropetalum. Right, nobody's shared any garden risks. That's fine. That's not a question that's resonated with anybody. What we are going to do is move on to our next question for you. I think we might get some answers on this one. Now, whether you've planted them or not, whether you've bought them or not, what are your favourite plants from YouGarden? I had a great big list. I had a big list on these. If you want to see mine or Sean's, come and join us for the pre-recorded shows that we have done for you. They'll be available from Boxing Day, basically. But it's all about you today. We want to know your answers, but it's all about Adam as well. We would like to know Adam's answers to these questions.
Well, I mean, I tend to like, because the good thing about YouGarden is they don't just do kind of run-of-the-mill plants. That's what I love about it. They bring us really different, unusual things as well. So quite often for me, it's like when we bring the palms. I always love all the different palms.
Oh, I love a palm. Well, you've got a nice exotic area, tropical area in your garden.
Yeah. So I've got like all sorts of different palms in the garden, which I forgot to send pictures in of. But but yeah, I mean, so for me, when I go on the YouGarden website, I love all these kind of unusual things, and I like all the winter flowering things they bring as well. So things like we've had witch hazels and all sorts of things like that in the past as well. So Daphne's another one. Which I like. I've got Daphne Perfume Princess.
Oh, nice.
In my garden, and again, that's a sort of a favourite on YouGarden. So, yeah, I tend to go for more of in my own garden, more the unusual, different kind of things, rather than I'm not going to say standard things, but more so than perhaps the things that the majority of people might go for. But then it's horses for courses, because some people, if you're just a new gardener, you perhaps don't want to try something a little bit more out there. You're probably a little bit more cautious. But once you...
Well, look, I mean, just looking in your professional work and your personal life, of course, you're a professional gardener, so you do planting schemes for people. You do planting schemes for, people's houses, but also commercial property. So obviously you've got to pick different plants for those different places.
Yeah, and the Nandinas, I mean, and I'm not just saying this as well, but the Nandina, is plants we use a lot of, not just the firepower. Actually, I think I sent you a picture. I don't know if you you can find it, of a garden we did where we used Nandina
like that
Firepower.
garden.
Yeah, that was for my accountant. I've swapped accountants now because I've moved, but yeah, it was a firm of accountants, and they were based in Walthamstow, but they had offices a bit further out, and they wanted the garden designed basically so they could sort of entertain, talk to clients in the garden and stuff like that. And I used loads and loads of these Nandina Firepower, but also Nandina Obsessed is another one. We love that one as well, because
it's got slightly smaller leaves, hasn't it?
Yeah,
but it's very similar in its qualities.
And that's the thing. They always look good all the way through the year. They're drought tolerant. They're cold tolerant, and so I think for me, when I look through the YouGarden sort of website, anything, it's like the Pride of Madeira things we've brought in the past as well. I've loved those as well. The Echiums, with those gorgeous big sort of blue flower spikes. So I think for me that tends to be my most favourite sort of plants when I look at what's available on YouGarden.
Well, we'd love to know your answers to these questions as well. So if you've got some favourite plants that you've bought from YouGarden, or maybe some favourite plants that you haven't yet bought from YouGarden, then do let us know. Here's the garden Adam was talking about. I love this. I really like this idea. Loads of Nandina planted there, and then those lovely conifers that are kind of topiaries.
What do you call them? Taxus.
Taxus, is that what it is?
The yew cones, those as well. So yew cones, and at the end, these are Nandina Firepower, and at the end,
that's the Obsessed, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got the Nandina Domestica, which is the really tall, tall one. So both in the Nandina family, but slightly different varieties of Nandina.
When I saw this picture, I was like, actually, I really like that, Adam, because that's a really nice low maintenance. And again, I was thinking the border at the front of my garden, at the front of my house, because that's nice low maintenance, but all year round colour.
Yeah, well,
I was actually going to steal that idea.
Yeah, well, they just wanted something simple and kind of sharp and not too complicated. And it sounds a strange thing to say, but when you think about accountants, they're very. They have to be very black and white, don't they? It has to be very straight down the line. It adds up or it doesn't. So we want to kind of reflect that in the garden. We want something very, almost, kind of sharp and not too confusing. Something clear and sharp. And
you definitely got it.
Yeah. So no, we're chuffed with that.
Very nice. 510-823, by the way, if you want to go for that Nandina. But we would love to know yours, please. I know you shared some of them with us earlier on in the week, but we'd love to know any of your favourite plants that you've seen from us at YouGarden. Maybe it's just what's on your shopping list. Maybe it's just on your wish list. Of things that you want to get in 2025. If you would like to share any of your pictures with us or any of these, favourite plants, then you can email us. ygtv@yougarden.com is the email address. I will keep an eye on the emails and see if you send any of those in. We love seeing pictures as well. So if you want to send us any pictures, that would be amazing. I've got more pictures from Dingo. We'll come back to those. But we can also join us on the chats on the socials. So in YouTube, which is what I'm looking at here, and also Stu has got Facebook open, so if you want to message us in Facebook you can do. Elaine, you're so sweet. She says YouGarden plants are all my favourite. We know, Elaine, because you're here with us every single week. Thank you so much to all of you, by the way, all the regulars, anybody who just dips in and out every now and then, or anybody that's brand new. We very much appreciate your company. We've been doing it for a while now. It was August 2023 when we first started doing this, so we're coming up to nearly 18 months and we're still here, so fingers crossed it all carries on. And it is, Stu's just said it's all thanks to you guys. It truly is all thanks to you, so thank you. I
was just thinking, Bex, I can think of a favourite that will be upcoming for next year that I definitely got from YouGarden is the Caribbean lilies.
Caribbean lily!
Yeah.
That's on so many's lists.
That is, because mine are doing really, really well. Mine have got a lovely little rosette of leaves. I've put 5 in a really, really big pot.
I've got a little rosette forming.
In fact, I bought 2 packs. I bought too many, and so I've given some to John for the front garden. But I was just so envious of all the pictures people sent in this year, because my goodness me, I've never grown them before. And when you sent in your pictures, whoa, they were mind blowing. So I know, if it's the same question this time next year, they're definitely going to be on the list.
Well, that's what Neil's message. So he says my favourite plants are the Caribbean lilies, the hardy Osteospermum, the Aqualegias, and the Barnsley baby. That's a really good list there. Grimmy says, I agree with Adam. I love the different or the unusual. I also like the range of evergreens YouGarden offer.
Yeah. That's always
really good, isn't it?
Yeah, because all the time, and even today, look, the shortest day was just yesterday, but we're not just, some of these shrubs are bare, but I mean, we're still bringing you. We've got 3 fabulous shrubs today, all with evergreen foliage, even now, this time of year.
Absolutely. And good morning to George, who's just joined us. Hello, George. Do you like Adam's ridiculous outfit? It's a bit... I'm sorry, I guess. Stu's saying you mispronounced amazing. I honestly mean it in that it's a compliment.
I should have worn a green shirt though, shouldn't I? Really? A blue shirt with a green tie. It's a bit clashy, isn't it?
See, Adam didn't see my ridiculous outfit on Thursday, where I came in as Mrs.
I must be able
Claus.
to find it somewhere online.
Oh, yeah, it's online. It's there available.
Yeah, I should see
it. I mean, I came in dressed full Mrs. Claus, so, I'm all for it. I love a bit of dress up. Right, let's move on, shall we? Should we talk about some plants?
Does Mrs. Claus have a beard?
No. Well, I wax it, so no. Right, let's move on.
I wasn't being personal. I wasn't being insulting. Unlike you.
She doesn't have a beard, but she occasionally has a bit of a tash.
Well, yeah, we're out of November now, aren't we? So it's time to take it off.
Right, let's move on, shall we? Shall we talk about the compost? Let's talk about the best compost and why it is the best compost.
Oh, we could almost rephrase that to pop music, couldn't we? Let's talk about good compost. Let's talk about good compost. Yeah, let's talk about dirt, baby. Dirt. You can't call it dirt, Stu.
It's not dirt, it's special.
When people say compost is dirt, it's like, no.
It's not, it's amazing. It's like, I call it the vitamin pill your plants want. It's got loads of goodness in here. Like, I take my daily vitamin. I take my daily collagen. Because I'm a lady of a certain age. So I take my daily collagen, I take my little vitamin. But this is like a vitamin pill for your plants.
It is, absolutely. Because, this compost, I always say this compost is brilliantly simple. And it is, because sometimes you go to garden centres and you see these bags and it's like, there's about 8,000 ingredients in each one. We'll exaggerate. But,
and there's so many different brands that it gets confusing.
It is confusing because they're all trying to compete with you, and some have got wetting agents, some have got this, some have got that, and it's like these adverts for moisturiser and stuff with your hyaluronic acid and your your limb slipholides and all. Well, I made that word up, but like serifluorates and
peptides.
Yeah, and all that. And you think, well, it'd be nice to actually tell me what that was rather than bamboozle me. But that's the great thing about this. This is a hugely peat reduced compost. But where we've taken some of the peat out, what we've replaced it with is that composted wood fibre. So that does lots and lots of things. The 3 major things I always say it does. Firstly, it lets the oxygen penetrate down into the compost. So even though roots grow underground, they want oxygen, they want air. That's really, really important. It allows the water to percolate through as well. And also, if you imagine you're a tiny little seedling, or even smaller, you're just a seed, and you're trying to make your way in the world, you don't want to be trying to get your roots down to something that's really hard and claggy. And this is so easy for a root system. In fact, the picture there, I mean, that says it all. In a standard compost, the roots have struggled to kind of develop, those little fibrous roots. In our compost, they've just had that amazing aerated compost where they can really get going. And once they get going, they've got that long-release fertiliser, those little beads that you'll see in here, little green or tan-coloured beads that will feed your plant for up to 6 months. A wetting agent in this as well. It makes the compost what's known as hydrophilic. It wants to absorb the moisture. We've all been there, haven't we? With pots, with containers, with hanging baskets. They've dried out, everything's drooping. You go to water it and the water runs straight off all over you, all over your feet. This compost sucks in that moisture much, much more quickly rather than repelling it. It's pH balanced as well, so it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline. And as Stu always said, the value is in the bag, not on the bag. That's why it comes in these lovely plain bags. And something we don't always mention, you can get a thumping great big bulk load of this as well if you want to. You don't have to just order it in these individual bags. So, but I mean, it's just the results that we've had from this, you know, Stu uses this, Bex has used this, Sean has used this, I've used this, and it's always, every time, Bex, isn't it, the most fantastic results.
Honestly, it really is. Just change one thing about your gardening and you will see incredible results just by, you know, using this compost. 100125 is the item number. Make sure you're using your code YGTV5124 because that's how you get that extra 10% off the price of that as well. Do remember that you are getting a free gift included in there. I think it's worth $9.99, is it, Stu? $6.99. It's a free gift anyway, so if you take the price of $6.99 off the price of that compost, actually we're getting really competitive in the price of the compost. It's not about getting the cheapest though, it's about getting the best, and that's exactly what our compost is.
There's also your little trick that you always mention about that.
Yeah, if you want more
gift.
free gifts.
Yeah.
Because this one, that has postage included, so you're not paying a postage cost on there. So if you want multiples of your free gift, just place that in separate orders. If you want 300 litres of compost, do it in 3 orders. Use the code, get your 10% off, then you'll get 3 of your free gifts included as well, okay? Right, so we're going to move on to the toffee apple tree, the Cercidiphyllum japonicum. Love that name, Cercidiphyllum.
I'm going to quickly sort of go off on a tangent again, unusual for me.
No way.
But this also reminds me of years ago when John and I and his mum and dad, we went to Sandringham.
Oh yeah, I love Sandringham.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful place.
Not far away from us, is it?
They had a huge one of these growing at Sandringham, but that's not quite the story. And we had to go through this. There was a bit that you could walk around that was generally open, and then to get to the house, you had to go for a turnstile bit, I think, and you had to sort of pay to go through. And so we paid to go through, and they gave you kind of this little guide, and it had a picture of the Queen and her husband on the front cover.
Right.
And John said to the woman behind the counter, "I was like, is that the Queen?" And the woman said, "Yeah." And John said, "Well, she didn't look like that when I met her." And it was like, and the people behind were like, "Who's he?" But like, it's only the fact we'd met the Queen a couple of times at the Chelsea Flower Show. But when John said that, I was like, I can't believe you just said that, John. It's like, talk about pose, you know, being such a poser, like in a great big queue. Like, oh, didn't look like that when I met her.
met the Queen.
Yeah, but the weird thing was, we went through. I mean, it was autumn time. We went through. It was about October time, and where we walked through, because you got the house, yeah, and there was a big kind of tarmacy pathway that led up to the house, and just off to the side was a huge, great big one of these, and I spotted it with my nose before I did with my eyes.
Yeah.
And John's dad did the same thing. He's like, "What's that? That really, really sweet smell." And and we went up to it, and this literally, it has some people say candy floss, some people say like a syrupy smell, some people say like a toffee apple smell. But just as the leaves start to drop, it has this really sweet, gorgeous kind of smell to it. Yeah, which is...
I mean, it's going to grow into a big tree, so you need the space for it.
Yeah, I mean, the one I remember growing in Sandringham, that was already about sort of 3 to 4 metres tall and probably about a couple of metres wide. But yeah, an absolutely stunning shrub. It's a nice centrepiece shrub, and you saw in the picture there the most stunning autumn colour as well.
Colour.
Yeah,
especially on one of those bright blue, sunny autumn days. That's going to be incredible. And mix that with the fragrance that you're going to get from this. I do think that's just a fantastic addition.
Yeah, I don't know of any other shrub that kind of has that kind of fragrance, and that comes because quite often when you think of decaying foliage or foliage aging, you think the opposite. You think
musty,
it's
horrible
musty,
smell.
sort of decay kind of smell. But honestly, it's just amazing. And if it's sort of the right sort of warmth of the day, you walk past it. What is that? That's that lovely, sweet, sugary...
I'm all about fragrance at the minute. Like, I've noticed my habit has changed as far as my gardening is concerned. I want it to look beautiful, but fragrance is a really powerful one of my senses, so I need fragrance.
Yeah, and ever since we designed a garden for guide dogs as well at the Chelsea Flower Show years ago, I've always tried to remember since, you know, not everybody has the blessing of vision, you know, so when you think about gardening, you do need to think about fragrance, you need to think about sound, you need to think about touch. So, and that's another thing I love about YouGarden. They always think about, they don't just think about a plant from the flower perspective of it. They'll bring you plants with fabulous texture. You were kind of caressing the Nandina earlier on.
You can't help but touch it.
No, you've got the lovely sound from that. So that's the thing. Plants. It's not necessarily. At the end of the day, the flower colour on a plant's not for us. It's for the pollinating insects.
True.
It's for them to guide them to pollinate the plant. it's just luckily a byproduct that we get to enjoy. But of course, yeah, we've got lots of other senses, and this is definitely one that your nose will enjoy. It's beautiful.
510707 if you'd like to go for the Cercidiphyllum, the Japonicum toffee apple tree. It's really well established in the 3 litre pot as well, so it's already got going, and it is a £5 saving for you on that one. £14.99 if you are in the club. Sorry, £14.99 if you're not in the club. £13.49 if you are in the club. Right, we are going to move on to our spring flowering bulbs next. We've got a whole table of these here. There's 5 on the table, but I think we've got another 2 that we can show you as well. We're going to start off with King Alfred. In here you're getting 20 bulbs, and this is your classic daffodil.
Yeah, and we've gone from King Alfred to King Charles today in the show
I
as
know,
well.
right?
So we're kind of covering quite a roll line along there, really. But yeah, Narcissus King Alfred. This is probably the most classic daffodil ever. I mean, there must be billions of these been planted across the planet since King Alfred was introduced. It's a reliable daffodil. It's a daffodil that stands up to the wind and the rain and the snow. Yeah. It will come up year after year after year.
Nice tall one though, right?
Yeah, lovely tall.
Like the 50 centimetres, 60 centimetres.
Yeah, super strong stems. Lovely deep yellow flower on that as well. Yeah, you just can't go wrong with King Alfred. And they're always like really lovely, big sort of chunky bulbs as well. So you're always guaranteed to get a flower. And as we say, when you plant a bulb, you plant a promise, because inside the middle of every bulb there's already a little embryonic flower just in the centre of that bulb. All you've got to do is plant them in the ground, and then nature will do the rest. And generally what we say is, if the bulb was say about 1 inch high, you want to put about 3 inches of soil above it. So between 2 and 3 times the height of the bulb of soil above each one. With daffodils, if you're not sure, always go deeper rather than shallower. Daffodils like to be quite deep.
Okay, that's a good tip.
Because they hate to dry out during the summer.
Yep.
So deeper for daffodils. But King Alfred, you cannot go wrong with these. You can grow them in grass, you can grow them in beds and borders, you can grow them in pots. They'll come back year after year after year after year. Yeah, stunning. Really
they're on a clearance deal at the moment. 600431 is the item number. It's just $3.99 for a pack of 20 of those. Next, we've got the spring tulip and crocus mix, and I love this mix because I mean they're both short. The spring tulip is going to be a shorter variety. You should get a bit of a crossover of when they come out because it is an early flowering tulip, and I just think it's a really clever combination. Yeah,
it is. I mean, that is really, really stunning, isn't it? I mean, it's just great to have that kind of mixture there as well. And these sort of more squat sort of tulips do tend to be much more early flowering, especially the kind of the species types. So you can get that crossover there with the crocuses. They're like the little species crocus there as well, below the lovely tulips. And look at these tulips. They've got double-sided petals. So on the outside, the petals are red, and on the inside, they're like creamy white
and then
colour.
that yolky centre in the middle as well.
Yeah.
I love that.
And again, what these both do on one of those first warm spring days, first thing in the morning, those tulips and those crocus flowers will be closed up. As soon as the sun comes out, they burst open. And you'll hear that little bzzz, bzzz, and the first little kind of bees and insects will turn up, taking advantage of that beautiful pollen. And it's all out. It's the cat's out the bag by then, isn't it? The genie's out the bottle. You can't reverse it. Spring has started at this point, and the only way is forward. Oh, and there's those beautiful, beautiful pansies as well. I love those. What's that variety with the crimpled edges?
Can't remember, but yes, those are lovely to plant with.
We've done those, haven't we? We've sold those. Yeah. So yeah, you can create that absolutely beautiful, beautiful kind of mix. And I'll get it in the minute as well, because they're Frizzle Sizzle.
Frizzle Sizzle? Yeah, it is.
One of my favourites. Yeah, beautiful, stunning.
All right, £3.99 again if you want to go for the first spring tulip and crocus mix. We're on a clearance deal, so do grab your bulbs while we've got these prices. They're definitely not going to get any cheaper than this. But yeah, it's just time to grab them at the best possible price. 600244 for the spring tulip and crocus mix. The next one, didn't you buy these?
Yes.
Have you got these, the Fritillaria?
Yeah, I've got some Fritillaria.
Snake's heads.
Yeah, Fritillaria meleagris are one of the most beguiling, one of the most dainty, one of the most beautiful, beautiful spring flowering bulbs. They like somewhere damp and cool with sort of quite a humusy rich soil. Where they grow wild, they're grown sort of normally in sort of floodland areas by the sides of rivers or meadows or places like that where the soil never really completely dries out. So a bit like snowdrops, they like the same kind of thing. They like to sort of keep their bulbs moist all the way through the year. Once these are happy, they'll come up year after year after year, and they'll spread as well. You'll get more and more of these. They kind of seed about. They'll actually kind of spread not only through the sort of increasing through bulbs, sort of vegetatively, but also with the seed as well. They flower for weeks and weeks and weeks. Fantastic in pots or containers as well. But yeah, really, really easy to grow. The bulbs are quite small on these.
Yeah, so these aren't going to be difficult to plant, are they? Because these are relatively small. And are we going to follow the same rules, sort of 2 to 3 times the depth?
Yeah.
Of the height of the
bulb?
bulb?
Rough. I mean, I wouldn't put these any deeper, but a couple of 2 or 3 inches down. That's all these need to be. But you know, give them a nice, really nice humusy kind of rich soil. I mean, incorporate some of our compost into the soil. And you can see there, little spring flowering or spring bee there, like taking advantage of these. But yeah, loads and loads of my customers' gardens have had these over the years. I think John's got some of these in our front garden, or his front garden. And yeah, they are really, really just the most beautiful, stunning flowers ever.
Neil has just commented, apparently, in the YouTube chat, saying that he's got these and he's planted them underneath his Acer. And I really like that. That's a great idea. Neil, I cannot wait to see pictures of that in the springtime once those come out. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, well, if you think where Acers normally thrive, they like that cool, damp sort of...
yeah.
I mean, if, for instance, you've decided to grow the Himalayan poppy, the blue poppy, the Mecanopsis poppy, you could plant these in the same areas that grows, because again, it's similar kind of conditions. So if you think sort of damp meadow position, kind of quite humusy sort of soil that always stays moist through the summer, that's the sort of place where Fritillarias will do well. But they do fantastic in pots as well. So you know, if you haven't got those conditions, you can still grow them in pots or troughs, even hanging baskets. Beautiful, really beautiful.
All right, let's move on then.
Easy for you to say. Is that the clangers? Have you been the soup dragon today?
Let's move on to the Spring Festival mix.
Easy for you to say.
We have got 3 different types of bulbs included in here. We've got allium, molly, we've got trichlea, and we've got iris included. I say trichlea, what do you say?
Oh, well, they used to be called Broadier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say tritea. Tritea.
I've noticed lots of different pronunciations of this one, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm just interested. Yeah, but you're going to get all 3 included in here. How many is it? It's 60 bulbs in total. They all come in the one bag, like so you can plant these out as soon as possible. Great mix, though, isn't it?
Yeah, stunning mix. Are they double Dutch irises?
Double Dutch irises, no.
No? Oh, OK. So you don't get twice the amount?
You don't get twice the amount, no.
They're single double Dutch irises.
Yes, they're single.
But yeah, I put loads and loads of Dutch irises in this year. That's difficult to say quick.
Yep.
And again, I got those from YouGarden. Because I think I've mentioned before, I always have this one solitary blue Dutch iris come up every year. And I haven't got a clue where it's ever come from, but it comes up every year and I always love it. So this year, I thought I'm going to plant loads and loads and loads. You've got the allium molly here as well. Lovely, beautiful heads of yellow flower. These only get about 6-7 inches tall. And then the tritea. Now, I always thought these doing well in full sun, which they do. But one of my customers' gardens, she had these like in a border right at the back in a really shady corner.
Yeah.
And they still flowered really, really well. But all they do need is good drainage. Give them a really good drainage position. They'll come up year after year. Alliums will come up year after year as well. And you'll get the alliums first, then you'll get the Dutch irises, and then you'll get the tritea, you know, a little sort of later on. So you can get a good spread out of flowering period with these.
Absolutely.
But Dutch irises are my favourite. And what's nice about the mix we've given you here as well, you've got some of them that are a solid colour, and some of them have got the sort of the bicolour on there as well.
Yeah, and I think that's why it works really well together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the irises actually sort of mould it together, don't they, with the molly and the tritea?
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, there's no reason why you can't actually do a mix of these in one area, or in a pot, for example, if you wanted to, or even do your lasagna planting. It's completely up to you.
Absolutely. 6000 00259 is the item number. Again, £3.99 for that bag, or £3.59 in the club. And finishing on the table here, though we have got another 2 options for you, but finishing on the table, we've got the tulips, and this is your classic tulip. This is the Triumph tulip.
Fast forward sort of 4 or 5 months, you've got that round bed. You've got the red tulips, you've got the wallflowers, you've got those orangey kind of beautiful coloured wallflowers in between. You've got your blue forget-me-not underneath. Oh. It's that, you know, first day in spring where you can really start to feel the warmth from the sun on the back of your neck. You've got the little fluffy white clouds. You know, the birds are singing their little hearts out. It's getting light now till kind of 8:30 at night, and wow.
You're sitting outside.
Sitting outside, and you've got these beautiful, stunning, upright, gorgeous deep red tulips on strong stems.
They have this lovely black centre as well, don't they?
Yeah, deep black centre, lovely, lovely healthy leaves. These are your sort of your classic tulip bulbs. You know, tulip Triumph red, again, a bit like the King Alfred daffodil. There's probably billions of these that have been planted all over the planet since, you know, they were introduced. Look at that there, beautiful spring day there, and you can just see these. I'd be tempted with these personally to go for a couple of packs of these, because I would probably like to have 1 pack around the garden in different places, and pots and troughs as well. If you've got an allotment or a vegetable garden or somewhere where you grow other bits and pieces, why not plant a straight row of these and have them as cut flowers as well? Beautiful big bunch of red tulips.
I mean, they are going to be incredible.
Really,
I just grabbed
really
my
lovely.
phone because I remembered I planted these. I mean, this is actually a couple of years ago.
They're so beautiful, aren't they? Such a pure, deep red.
So gorgeous.
Solid colour.
Look. Oh, I loved it. Honestly, I absolutely... yeah, this was from a couple of years ago. You can see my rhubarb in the background there as well. I love my rhubarb. It's one of my favourite things I grow. And that's the spuds in the grow bags. Yeah, back when I grew and that was just as they started off. You can see I'd only just started the bags off, so that was the spuds going.
And it's that great time of year then, Bex, as well, and it's because it's that time of year where every day you go out in the garden, you see something new, don't you, coming through, something emerging. I mean, that if you had to choose a classic tulip, I mean, you couldn't go wrong with that, could you?
You really couldn't.
Really,
There's another
really
video
stunning.
somewhere in my phone of when it had opened up, and you can see that lovely centre in there as well, but I'll find it another time.
And if anybody's watching today and you're sort of thinking to yourselves, hold on a minute, you know, it's nearly Christmas. Like, it's too late to plant bulbs. Honestly, it's not. All our bulbs have been stored brilliantly well. They're not mouldy, they're not soft, so they can all go in now. It's definitely not too late. And even if you get these home and you can't plant them for another couple of 2 or 3 weeks, they'll be fine.
All right, so that's the 5 that we've got on the table for you. We've got another 2 options for you as part of our clearance deal, the crocus. And this is the classic crocus. This is the species mix that we've got included in here. And you are getting that lovely mix of colour, the yellow, the purple and the white included as well. We have got the tete-a-tetes included for you, which are the lovely miniature tete-a-tetes. These are the ones that have got the multiple heads on them as well, so you will get more than 1 flower on each of the stems, and they only reach about 15 centimetres in height. You will get 30 of those bulbs included. 600098 is the item number. If you want to get ahead of us, you want to go and have a look online, see all the things we've got, you're looking for that little button. It might be in the bottom right, depending on where you're watching us, if you're on your phone. If you can't find it, look, just scroll down a little bit, click in there. That's where you can find us on the main page. You can see the live now bit. Click through. There's me and Adam, and here's all of the offers that we've got for you. So we've got, I mean, there's all the crocus, there's all the bulbs that you can see in there, the tulips, the Fritillaria. You've got your Pansy Cool Waves. Stu's advice is always put something in your basket and then enter the code and then come back and continue shopping, because then the prices that you're looking at here will be the prices that you will pay. Otherwise, you'll be looking at the higher prices. So sometimes it's just better for you to be shopping, scrolling, when you when you can see the prices that you're actually going to pay. Beautiful hydrangea is available in there as well if you want to grab one of those. Yeah, look, there's loads in here. Keep scrolling down, and there's all the pots as well. So we've got the Helix offers. We've got a few other pots available. There's our Nandina. We've got all our roses in there, the bare roots. All 5 of those are on a buy one, get one free. Put the 2 in that you want. You can mix and match here. You don't have to get 2 that are exactly the same. Oh, the lovely little appletini. Yes, I love that appletini. I've got that. It's a beautiful one. There's our Cercidiphyllum. We've got the palabin. Yeah, the standard standard. We've got that coming up as well. And we're going to show you the cherry kanzan in a few minutes too, the classic flowering cherry tree. So much still to see. We're still here for another, what, we've got another hour and 20 minutes, I think we're here for. So loads of time to get loads of comments, questions and things in. The question that we're asking at the moment is, what are your favourite plants from YouGarden? There might be some on the show today. There might be some in the past. You might have already bought them. They might be things that are on your wish list that you want to get in 2025. We'd love to know. What are your favourites? Do you know what? I was going to say they might not be from YouGarden. You can just tell us your favourite plants. I don't mind. Just tell us your favourite. Stu's saying no. We want to know the YouGarden ones. We just want to know your favourite plants. And if you've got any pictures to back it up, you know how nosy I am. I love to see in your garden. So you can email us the pictures at ygtv@yougarden.com, or you can just send us the list. We don't mind. You can email us and you can join us in the chat on YouTube and on Facebook as well. Stu will keep an eye on that one. Where are we starting? Sorry.
Nandina.
Nandina. Let's come back over here then. Over to the Nandina, the best. It's definitely one of the best. It's got to be in the top 10 of the best plants you can put in your garden, right?
Yeah, because the good thing about Nandinas is it's not, you know, Nandina isn't just for the summer, it's for all the year through.
Not just for Christmas.
Not just for Christmas.
For life.
Yeah, it's for life. And I'm talking for life as well, because this has our winter hardy guarantee. If this did ever fail for whatever reason, we'd replace it for you as well. So again, if you're a new gardener and you're kind of, you know, worried about, you know, investing in new plants, that's another fantastic thing we do at YouGarden. You know, you don't have to take a risk, because we take the risk away for you. And this, yeah, the sound of it's brilliant, isn't it? It's got that
Sorry,
sort of...
I'm just going a bit crazy, but the sound is lovely.
Yeah, and you can see why they sometimes call these sacred bamboo, because they're not a bamboo, but they have that sound like when wind rustles through a bamboo. But this is one of those plants that just looks brilliant all the year through. It's got that lovely domed shape to it. They only get to about a couple of feet tall as well, so they're about 2 or 3 foot tall over a long period of time. The foliage starts off that deep, deep red. It eventually turns to a lovely, shiny, glossy green. These will flower for you as well if they're really happy. They have little conical heads of white flowers that can set into berries. Super drought tolerant, really not fussed about soil, great for the borders, great for pots or containers. Get through practically any winter, these as well.
Yeah.
I love Nandinas.
Honestly, this is what we love about Nandina, is that they are ridiculously hardy, down to probably minus 25, no
Easily.
issues, and plus 40 as well. They can cope with really high temperatures too.
This garden here that you can see here, this is near somewhere called Hoddesdon, and that garden, that gets baked in the summer, and it is so dry. But those Nandinas, they've been in 3 or 4 years. And they've survived. They've never been watered. That's from the time John and I planted them. And that they get through every winter. They look stunning. And they're really super low maintenance, which is the nice thing about them.
Love them. Sorry, I was just checking out their pictures. I will come to those, but yes, we've had some pictures with favourite plants, so thank you very much for those. I'll show them in a second. Hellebores is what we're going to show you next. This is the double queen mix. They come to you as plug plants. You see them here. They are in the little greenhouses. They're very good quality as well. Just check out the root system on those. I'd probably give them a little drink, a little soak, just because those root systems are very sort of tightly packed. And you're going to want to give that a little squeeze and tease before you plant it, just to point those roots in the right direction. But a beautiful mix of flowers here. Yeah,
I mean, hellebores, again, are one of the toughest plants you can put in the garden. They're drought tolerant, they're shade tolerant, they're frost tolerant. They grow practically anywhere. And they do this most ridiculous thing. These beautiful, stunning, delicate flowers that look like they would drop dead at the first sort of hint of cold, they decide to come out in the middle of winter in all my customers' gardens, because what we try and do, we try and get a last visit in for everybody before Christmas. So, in fact, we're even putting stripes on people's lawns this week. So,
oh, were you?
Yeah, because again, because the autumn's so mild these days.
Do you know, I did see it. There was a post in a group on Facebook that I follow called "Loving Your Garden" or something or other, and somebody had put in there, "Can I mow my lawn in December?" And loads of people. I mean, there were some hilarious responses going, "It's your lawn, do what you like," kind of thing. There was a lot of that going on, but also there was so many people saying it's fine, it's not frosty. And that's the only time you wouldn't do it, really.
Yeah,
so
if it's not frosty or waterlogged. It was at a garden in Cambridge this week. It's very sandy soil there, so it drains really quickly. So John went up and down the garden with the mower, with the roller, and got some lovely stripes. And I was cutting back the last bits and pieces. And in that garden, the hellebores, the flowers are all emerging right now. So don't think these are kind of really timid, sort of frail little plants that are not going to survive the winter. They choose this time of year to burst into flower, and they will flower for week after week after week after week in these most extraordinary range of colours and shapes. Some of them are more of a single flower, some are more of a double flower. They live donkey's years, 25, 30, 40 years, hellebores, and also they're quite promiscuous. So what they tend to do, they do. They put it about a bit, unfortunately, in the garden, which actually means you can actually get your own hybrids. So
cool.
The bees do their thing, and they seed, and sometimes you'll get another one that comes up that. It's completely and utterly yours. It'll be unique to you because it's a hybrid, natural hybrid.
Love that.
And they do seed about. So once you've got half a dozen of these, within a couple of years, you'll find little tiny little plants coming up all around in different places, which you can just lift up and then transplant and take somewhere else.
Brilliant. All right, so if you want to get 6 plug plants, you're going to be saving £5 on those. They'll come out to you in our little miniature greenhouses. So they're well packaged. All the packaging is fully recyclable. But just you can plant them out if you want to. That's absolutely fine. They're fully winter hardy. I would probably grow them on in some pots first and then plant them out, but that's just personal choice. It's up to you. 480961 is the item number if you'd like to go for the hellebore, the double queen mix. Next, we've got the Clematis freckles, an evergreen winter flowering Clematis. You're crazy. No, I'm not. It does do it.
Well, it does, yeah. Well, and it's probably just coincidence, really, but we've got these two together. We've got the pansy freckles and we've got the hellebore.
They do actually work really nicely, don't they?
And they do flower at a similar time. Yeah, they are winter flowering.
Love that.
And again, a garden that I've looked after for donkey's years in Woodford. There's at the end of the garden, there's a little tiny. Not an arbor, what am I trying to say?
Pergola.
Pergola, that's the word, yeah. Little pergola, and there's been a pansy freckles growing over that 20 years, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And this time of year, you turn up and it is just bejewelled with these beautiful, beautiful flowers all the way over. And you think, why are you doing that? You crazy, crazy plant.
Why are you doing it?
Don't you know it's the middle of winter coming up? Don't you know there's going to be lots of really cold weather? It doesn't care. And not only that, it's evergreen as well. So you've got foliage all the year through. Oh, that's a rooty beauty there, Bex. That's looking good.
It is a rooty beauty, my love. Yeah, look, there's loads and loads of roots on there. Really nicely established, really healthy, raring to grow. Definitely, that's one to get planted. And then just enjoy that beauty. And the great thing with Clematis is, it's quite vigorous. It's quite fast growing. And as with all other Clematis, all you need to really do is, or one of the top tips is to keep a cool root.
Yeah, keep a cool root, keep it moist as well. Clematis hate dry soil. They can't stand dry soil. So, again, if you've got a dry soil, incorporate lots of our compost in before you plant it. Keep the roots cool, feed it. And that's it, and then just enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy that one. Right, last chance for your winter bedding. Last chance for your Pansy Cool Waves. There is still time to plant these out, by the way. These are fantastic. The great thing about Pansy Cool Wave is that they will give you displays, and they will give them for you for up to 10 months of the year. It's our best pansy, outperforms all other pansies.
It is as well, and I'm just thinking, what about a nice, great big pot with your hellebores in the middle, and then your Pansy Cool Wave around the outside? That's a win-win there, isn't it? You've got that perennial hellebore in the middle, and then you've got the Pansy Cool Wave with their up to 9-10 months of flower. Makes me laugh. 9 to 10 months of flowering. There's only a couple of months a year they don't actually really bother flowering. And look at the colour range on there. You've got some solid colours, you've got solid yellows, you've got some solid whites, but you've got the bicoloured ones as well. You've got sort of the purple and white, or and these tumble down a little bit. They're not like your Sophinia petunias. They're not going to go mad like that, but they do tumble down gently. Super, super frost hardy. These will get for any winter. I mean, I'll be honest with you. We have a -5, a -6 one morning. They'll look a bit first thing in the morning.
But they perk right back up again.
They do, yeah.
That's what I love about them.
They do.
They're like, oh, it's a bit cold, but they just perk straight back up again.
First thing in the morning, look like a car's driven over them. Honestly, it will. And you'll think, what the dickens? You'll think to yourself. And then a couple of hours later, the sun comes up, the temperature goes up a bit, they all stand bolt upright again, and they just keep going.
These are the ones I've got out the front of my house at the moment, in a pot paired up with the copper shield fern, flowering beautifully. So that's on one side of the door. I've also got another pot there with the lovely cordyline in, that's got the Pansy Cool Waves around the bottom there.
I need to slightly rebuke you, though. I need to very slightly rebuke you.
Oh no, what have I done? What?
You need to do a little bit more deadheading.
I do, don't I? No, that's fair enough, to be honest with you. I haven't properly looked after those pots. You're absolutely right.
But having said that, though, no, there's no need for that. That's fine. Do you want me to kiss it? Or like,
Smack my wrist. No, you're right. I have not done my deadheading.
But I was the point I was going to get into, though, you haven't, but
they're still
flowering,
good.
still looking good.
Imagine what they could look like if they had been deadheading.
So again, that proves, even though you don't always deadhead regularly on those, it doesn't stop them flowering.
Yeah.
They'll keep going. But obviously, if you can deadhead every so often, it will encourage more flower.
First job I'll do when I go home, because they're right outside the front door. There's no excuse. I could literally just go and it takes 30 seconds.
It's not a busy time of year. What else you got to do?
What am I doing? All right, Pansy Cool Wave's $4.99. Get a pack of 10 of those. Multi-order if you want to, but it is your last chance to get hold of those. And finally on this table, we are finishing with our Loropetalum, the beautiful black pearl, really dark colour you've got on here.
Again, evergreen, so all the year through, this looks really interesting. This is as bad as it's ever going to look, and it looks fantastic now. And then, in the springtime, you get these fabulous flowers, these witch hazel kind of like flowers. If you know the traditional kind of the Hamamella mollis, the witch hazel, that has lovely, lovely yellow flowers in the winter time.
It does sound like... Stu just went, I've never heard that word. It did sound like you tripped over on it, but it's not, it's Hamamellis.
Yeah, Hamamellis mollis. Yeah, that's Hamamellis, and then another word mollis.
Hamamellis mollis.
Yeah, that's one of the most common Hamamellis that people grow, or witch hazel. And they call this Chinese witch hazel, which it isn't, but it has flowers like a witch hazel.
It does,
hence the
very
name.
much like it.
But it will have this explosion of flower in the spring, and then I would say that one there.
It's a few years, isn't it, that one? It's nicely mature.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years old, that one. And they grow in similar conditions as to where the acers do. So if you imagine with Japanese acers, they like quite a nice, cool, damp, semi-shaded...
I've got one, but I think it's in too deep shade, also in my clay soil. So I'm going to dig it up. I'm going to put it in a pot.
Yeah, it doesn't want to be like in really, really dark shade.
No, but it can cope with a decent... It can cope with part shade and dappled shade. Yeah. Anyway, you'd normally put an acer, this will have to
somewhere it gets like a bit of sun first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Then the sun goes off of it, say about mid-morning, and then it doesn't come back till sort of evening time. It'll be fine. It likes a nice, cool, sort of damp position, but it's definitely a shrub worth trying. Beautiful, beautiful shrub.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous one, honestly. And the contrast that it can provide with, the other plants in your garden, that is the reason that you're going to go for it. Obviously, it's a standalone beauty anyway, but when you see that contrasted with the other shades of green in your garden, that's where it's really going to come into its own.
Yeah, definitely. Beautiful.
Right, let's move on now, shall we? We are going to talk about... We're going to talk about that wonderful, magical time of the year. That lovely... Not Christmas. It's wonderful. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Getting excited. But, no, I'm talking about cherry blossom season.
Oh...
It is magical, isn't it? That beautiful time of the year when you see all the cherry blossom come out, and then you get a slightly windy day, and then the cherry blossom is blown around in the wind. I love it. I absolutely adore it. And this one is the Cherry Prunus Kanzan, the classic when it comes to cherry blossom.
World famous. I mean, world famous, the Prunus Kanzan. And I'm with you, Bex. When these flower, that time of year is mind-blowing. Every street you go down that time of year, you see cherries, you see Ceanothus, you see camellias, you see, so many spring flowering shrubs. It is the most ridiculously colourful time of year. I always remember when I was a kid, I was brought up in a town called...
Do you? Can you remember that far?
I was brought up in a town called Harlow in Essex. And Harlow Town Park used to be... Well, it is again now, luckily, but back then it was absolutely mind-blowing. There was this huge area down near the Greyhound pub in Harlow Town Park where they planted dozens and dozens of cherry trees, all different types. And I always remember as a kid, when we used to go down there about May time, I was blown away. Yeah. Because just this explosion of blossom was just mind-blowing. What are you laughing at now?
We're all a bit giddy today. Stu said you were blown away. Stu was like, whoa, was it windy?
I didn't hear that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was gale force. Yeah,
it was really windy.
Yeah, and I was only 2'1" at the time, and 3 stone. So yeah, I didn't have my lead shoes on.
Oh dear.
But no, The cherry blossom, I'm always blown away. No, I'm not going to say blown away by it. I'm always just completely
it's
in awe of
beautiful.
it.
There's one, and I will post a video of it because I do it every year. There's one, I don't know if it's Kanzan actually, the variety around the corner from my house, but it certainly looks like it. I walk past it every single day, and honestly, I just love it. I think it's so beautiful. I mean, I love cherry blossom anyway, but this one just being that absolute classic. This one's a really good one to add.
There's kind of two memorable ones. Kanzan is one of them. The other one is Anamagawa, which is the very upright, sort of narrow one.
Yeah, the one that fits into smaller because it stays nice and narrow.
What they
I like
call
that one.
fastigiate kind of one. They're probably the two most popular. But the Kanzan, wow, I mean, it just gives that explosion of those fluffy pink flowers. And if you get a sort of a dry spring as well, they can stay on for a good couple of weeks if you get a nice dry, warm spring. Now, we're sending you a bare root plant. And again, don't panic about this because, sometimes it's sort of counterintuitive looking at things like this because you think, well, hold on a minute, you've just pulled this thing out of the ground.
What are you sending me a twig for?
Yeah,
what am I going to do with that?
And roots are supposed to be in soil, they're not supposed to be in mid-air, but this is bare root. This plant does not know it's been lifted out of the ground, it's dormant.
It's gone to sleep.
So get it home, soak it in a bucket of water for 24 hours, and then plant it. But when you plant it, make sure you plant it at the same height as it came out of the pot.
So the union here, where it's been grafted, that needs to be above ground.
It does, yeah. Do not bury this below ground level because this is where basically this is two different plants made into one. It's what
witchcraft.
It's what Stu calls witchcraft. Yeah. If he was Witchfinder General during the
we'd all be burnt.
Yeah. And any cherry breeders like this had been dealt with. So. But we're in more tolerant times now, thank goodness. So, don't be mean to your cherry. But yeah, that's all you've got to do with this. What I probably would do as well is just give it a little bit of a stake as well.
For the first few years.
And before Stu says it, no, I don't mean
in the heart.
No, I was going to say I don't mean a beef steak. I don't mean a sirloin or something like that.
No.
I've got to get ahead of him today. Yeah. So not a tuna steak either. Just a bamboo cane would be fine, or just a little dahlia steak, and I would and just put that in 45 degrees at the side of it and sort of just attach it to that stake just for the first season, just to give it a chance to sort of get its roots down into the ground next summer without it getting rocked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the difference between a piano and a fish?
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
Let's go and sit down. I think that's a good idea.
Oh, I love this time of year, isn't it the best?
Dear. It's all the cracker jokes, isn't it?
I love it, honestly.
Because went out with my mum yesterday, took my mum out for a Christmas meal to a beef eater. She really enjoyed it, which was nice. Christmas crackers in there. Why can't Christmas trees knit?
I don't know. Why can't Christmas trees knit?
Because they're always dropping their needles.
Oh, of course. Always dropping their needles.
Yeah, that's
unless you bought one of our potted Nordman firs, of course. They don't drop their needles. Right, so email us ygtv@yougarden.com. What we want to know. What's the latest question? Favourite plants, isn't it? It's the favourite plants. So your favourite plants that we do at YouGarden, that you've got from YouGarden, that you want to get from YouGarden. We have a question from Grimmy. Bit of garden advice.
Okay.
So, guys, question. Some of my hardy Osteospermum are still flowering and others aren't. The question is, should I be cutting them right back or just leave them to their own devices? What would you do, Adam?
You know what? I'll just leave them to their own devices.
Me too.
And I definitely wouldn't cut them back this time of year. Don't cut them back at all till the spring. Just because the more growth on top of those, the more that's protecting the more tender growth further down. And if the weather does turn severely cold, what you'll find is those flowers will just go black and discolour anyway. And even some of the top leaves might discolour a little bit. But because they're hardy, it doesn't mean they'll die. They'll just, they'll still survive through to spring. So honestly, just leave them and enjoy them. Don't do anything with them.
We had a similar question the other day, and I think we answered the same, so I'm pleased about that.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, times are changing, aren't they? We all know that. And we will end up in a world in another 10, 15, 20 years' time where all sorts of things are going to be flowering this time of year that we never thought would be flowering.
Yeah.
But just go with,
you know. We've got to learn as we go.
Yeah, and nature adapts, nature catches up. At the end of the day, everything else will all be here.
Well, thank you very much. If you do have any questions and you want any gardening advice, you are welcome to ask those questions. You can email us as Dingo and Grimmy have just done with some pictures, ygtv@yougarden.com, or you can put the question into the YouTube chat or into Facebook. It's up to you, whichever thing you find easier. I love getting pictures though, so thank you so much to everybody that sent pictures in. We're going to start off with Dingo. So this is an answer, and you're going to be so annoyed at this. Adam's
Is it that lily?
So the question at the moment is, what are your favourite plants from YouGarden? And so Dingo had great success. I mean, even more success than me with my flame lily. Adam tried.
Oh, flame lily. Oh, right, that lily.
Yeah, that lily.
Right, yeah.
Adam tried. You know, the professional gardener over here. You didn't have much success with this one, did you?
I didn't know, but sometimes that's...
It just goes that way,
That's the way it goes,
I love how you're being all like zen about it
just,
now.
Well, I was busy at the time.
He was massively annoyed.
I didn't have enough time to put into it, to be honest, so it's my own fault.
Here we go. This is Dingo's favourite plant, and this is in his bar, and look at those.
In his bar as well, look at that.
know.
That's like something from Death in Paradise.
Aren't they amazing?
Looks like that bar there.
I was amazed by
look
these.
At that.
Thought they were just
Whoa.
fantastic.
They are...
You've kept them though, right? Because they should come back this year.
Oh, yeah. They died down. I mean,
You just didn't get any flowers, did you?
no.
Did you get any in the end?
No. I got growth. I got foliage, but I didn't get any flowers.
You didn't get any flowers.
But no, I've still got the bulb or the tuber. I think they're tubers. Yeah, in the pot.
So hopefully this year. No, next year, sorry.
And the thing is, the top foliage dies down anyway. I mean, probably in a Caribbean climate, they probably keep going, but in our climate, it tends to die down.
Yeah.
Just keep the tuber somewhere frost-free and dry, kind of through the winter. And then
Well, I know Dingo's kept flowering, because mine, I mean, I obviously didn't look after them. They did really well to start with, and then they just died off, and I didn't get much else going on. And Dingo's seriously kept flowering for ages, so he did really well with his.
Well, again, I mean, let's face it, we're Christmas in a few days' time, and most places have probably only had half a dozen frosts so far this autumn. And again, you go back 20, 30 years, we'd have had frosts.
Loads of frosts. We'd have been out sledging in the snow and all sorts by now.
So, this is going to become more and more of a common thing. As we said a moment ago, things are going to keep flowering longer and longer and longer. I mean, it's on the answer to a question later on. The biggest success this year. Yeah, I've got bougainvillea in my greenhouse still.
Good, is it?
Yeah, and it's still flaring its socks off in the greenhouse.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got another one. I've forgotten who this is from. Hold on. Oh, this is from Grimmy. So he says, pick from this summer. And we've got another vote for the Caribbean lily here with this one. This is a great picture as well. Loads of those Caribbean lilies looking absolutely awesome in that. I mean, I'm assuming it's like a trough or something you've got there.
Wow, that is stunning.
That looks beautiful, doesn't it? I love those in the background as well.
Is there
what are these?
Are they Agapanthus in the...
No, the yellow and the pink. They look like
the yellow are tulips. Oh, I'll tell you what, the purple are. They're anemone decaying, I think.
Are they?
Yeah.
It's a lovely little planting combination there, though, isn't it? Love those colours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is beautiful. Was that a little peacock in the middle? I thought I saw a peacock.
Oh, it's a little statue.
Oh, it's a parrot.
A little parrot bird, look.
Hey.
Love it. Okay, so that was from... I'm so bad. That was from Grimmy, but we've also got a picture from Penny as well. So Penny says, my favourite has to be... Oh, Penny, yes, the giant begonias. Giant begonias were incredible.
Are they the Belgian ones?
I got another...
Belgian?
We've got the Belgian ones.
Yeah.
I got another picture of mine to show you at some point of the giant Belgian begonias. I posted it on Instagram and Facebook. It was like the size of my head. One of the flowers that came, they were so big.
Quite big then.
It's getting me back.
Getting me back.
Thank you, Penny. That is beautiful. And yeah, we always said that begonias are amazing. They can withstand all the different weathers and sun and shade and everything, and they really can, can't they?
And they're another plant as well that keeps flowering until stupid late in the year now because we don't have the frost to knock them out.
No, it's true.
I've seen them go on right into October, even November.
Alice, oh, hang on. Sure. Oh, yes, very nice.
He must be, I presume he's not sitting down.
Yeah, he's quite short, isn't he?
They don't normally get quite that tall. But
he's just a bit behind it, isn't he?
But I mean, look at the mix there as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it's understandable why you'd love them.
Very nice. And Alison has just sent a message. No picture on this one, but she just says, morning all and happy Christmas. The Narines are back in stock.
Christmas.
Thank you. They are the mixed So I'm having some of those. Yeah, why not? The nerines are amazing. Late flowering as well, which is really good because we were getting pictures of nerines right into sort of late October. The nerines were flowering. They were amazing.
In some of my customers' gardens, they've only just sort of gone over.
Only just, yeah.
I don't know why, but Norfolk and Suffolk, you see them everywhere in the autumn. I think they love the really sandy, well-drained soil. Because that's where they thrive. But it's nice to get that colour mix. Because normally they were just pink, wouldn't they? But now you get the pink, you get the sort of the reds, you get the whites.
And the whites as well.
Yeah, together.
Grimmy sent us a Christmas joke.
Oh, come on then.
And this definitely sounds like something that's come out of a cracker. It is cracking. How do Christmas trees get ready for a night out?
Oh, I could guess this one, but I don't want to spoil it.
Go on.
Do they spruce themselves up?
They spruce up! That's exactly it. Well done. Well done. OK, so if you want to share anything with us, please do. We're on ygtv@yougarden.com. The next question that we have got for you, we're moving on from favourite YouGarden products. We're moving on to favourite houseplant. I have answered these as well. So has Sean Ryan. We have pre-recorded some shows. So if you want to know our answers, then tune in over Christmas. They'll be released from Boxing Day. So at the usual times when you'd get a YouGarden TV show on a Thursday and a Sunday, they will be released and you can watch them there. They'll also be on YouTube. They'll also be on the website as well. So you can tune in to find out our answers. But today is all about you. We want to know your answers. And it's all about Adam. We want to know Adam's answers. So Adam, what is your favourite houseplant currently? Because it changes.
Funnily enough, there's somebody not a million miles away from me who's guilty.
Is it the?
It is.
It the what?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's my Nephrolepsis fern, or my Boston fern. That actually, I watched Bex one night on TikTok. TikTok Sharp. Bex was doing her houseplants, and it was weird because I've not grown one of these for donkey's years. I remember my first job when I left school, as I told you, I worked for a rose grower, but then I left and I worked for a company called Texas Home Care. Yes. One of the jobs I had there was in charge of their plant centre, and back then they had Nephrolepsis ferns, and I loved them back then. And they seemed to kind of fall out of fashion for a number of years. You didn't really see them around. And when I saw your Boston fern that you were selling on the show, wow! And it's probably there it is on my bathroom shelf.
Camaderia elegans next to it.
That's some YouGarden as well. But yeah, the Boston fern, I think it was about 2 months ago, nearly, Bex, now. I got that from you. And it looks as stunningly good now as the day I got it from you. Wow. You know what? I adore that plant, and it's really elevated my bathroom. I've always wanted one of these kind of what I call hotel-looking sort of bathrooms.
Yeah.
And and it just looks beautiful in the bathroom because we've got those sort of dark tiles and obviously the white walls and so on. And it's just in front of the window there, but because you've got that sort of semi-translucent kind of glass, frosted glass,
it works.
It loves it, and because we shower, it loves all the humidity from the shower as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that actually, I'm not just saying this, at the moment, that is my most favourite houseplant. I love it, really adore it, really happy with it.
Very nice. Are you into your houseplants? Do you have lots of houseplants? We do supply lots of houseplants here at YouGarden. We don't often bring them into the potting shed. We have done a few houseplant specials and houseplant shows. We do a lot of shows on TikTok where we talk a lot about houseplants. But yeah, if you've got houseplants, what is it that you like the most? We have actually massively increased our range of houseplants this year. Here's just a little selection of a few of them. I mean, we've got some nice, weird and wonderful ones with the Venus flytraps. We've got the succulent mixes. The bird of paradise. You managed to get yours to flower, didn't you?
Yeah.
Got a flower of your bird of paradise. Oh, that's Stu's success. Yeah, the Monstera monkey leaf. They're incredible. And we do some mixes as well. So you've got some like pet-friendly mixes. So Neil, for example, I know you bought that pet-friendly mix, didn't you? It contains the spider plant, the Boston fern, and the Tenanthe Belmarxii. But we do like collections in there. We've got the trumpet pitcher plant, which is what's the word I'm looking for? Carnivorous plant. The begonia that Stu just pointed out there, there's only a couple of those left, but that's nearly gone. But loads and loads included in there. Oh yeah, calatheas. I think we've got 4 different types of calathea at the moment.
That cordyline,
the cordyline, that kiwi is really pretty. The purple shamrock. Oh, the cat grass is amazing because that is actually for cats to munch on. They can munch on it. And actually there's a few reasons why cats naturally munch on grass, because it can help them to get rid of fur balls.
It's like a purgative, isn't it?
Yeah, helps them to get rid of the fur balls, but they're supposed to potentially take some vitamins from it as well. That's another one of the that's the pet-friendly collection you've got there. We've got monsteras, different sizes. We've got yuccas included. Honestly, we've got so many houseplants. So if you are, and the Sansevieria, I love a Sansevieria, I love a snake plant. So if you are interested in houseplants, we've got a huge range of them. But if you want to see them, then what I'm going to suggest to you is that over Christmas time, you get TikTok. So just like if you've got Facebook and you've got Instagram and things like that, TikTok's one of them. Just get yourself a profile on TikTok, find YouGarden and me, find Bex Edwards and Adam. Adam's on there as well. Adam Woolcott. You'll be able to find all of us on there. It's the same logo for YouGarden. We do loads of shows from the actual houseplant greenhouse, our houseplant habitat, and you'll be able to see all of those in situ, and you can buy from there as well. There's Adam's details on the bottom there, look, so you can follow him on Instagram and on TikTok as well, Adam Woolcott. Right, should we crack on? What else should we do? Should we talk about some other stuff?
Yeah,
should we talk about roast potatoes?
Yeah. Oh, did we get any tips?
No tips.
Tips.
Nobody wants to give us any tips on roast potatoes. How about what you're having for Christmas dinner? Are you doing a traditional Christmas dinner? Are you doing a roast? What meat are you having?
Or the Boxing Day thing, because like a lot of people do the sort of the cold meats, don't they? And
yeah.
the leftovers
or
thing.
the turkey curry. That's a fun one.
And some people kind of have like a double Christmas dinner thing, don't they? So yeah, we're all different. We all do our own thing.
Or are you going weird and wonderful and having pizza for Christmas dinner?
There was somebody on the radio the other day, and they were saying one thing they like for Christmas is cranberry sauce mixed with mayonnaise.
That's so wrong.
Yeah, apparently.
There's something quite wrong about that.
That was on. No, what was that on? I think it was on.
Now you've said it though.
Yeah, it was on what's his name? Show on Radio 2.
Turkey sandwich with some cranberry sauce and
Yeah. Somebody said you can buy it ready mixed as well. Mayonnaise and cranberry sauce. Now. I did once mix mayonnaise with mint sauce.
Yeah,
it was all right.
I can sort of see it.
Yeah. Oh, I might. I'm going to make Marmite mayonnaise. Wonder what that's like.
What is wrong with you? Let's give you a reminder of some of the things that have been selling really well today while Adam goes and does some work and changes the table. Right, so starting off with... roses. Yeah, so this is an amazing deal. We've got a buy one, get one free included on these ones. You just got to choose the two that you want, place them into your basket, enter the code YGTV5124. One of them will be free. This one's the Raspberry Royale. So this is a nice compact one that we're talking about here. Should only get to about a couple of feet high, about 60 centimetres by 60 centimetres. Littler, smaller flowers, but clusters of them, and you get loads of them. 540074 is the item number if you'd like to go for the Raspberry Royale bare root. We've got Abracadabra included in here. Love the colour combination of Abracadabra. It's a creamy buttery yellow with a really deep velvety maroon colour. Jumping Gene causes the difference in the colours, which means every rose is going to be unique. 530316 is the item number. Next we've got the King Charles Coronation. I know we shouldn't have favourites, but this one is my favourite. I believe it's your favourite as well out of the bare roots currently. It does look a bit like a peony. It's got such petalicious beauty, and also those crimped kind of fimbriata edges almost that you've got on there. I think it's a stunner. Of course, it is named for our king as well, so I think that's a lovely addition to any garden. 540242 is the item number for that one. Oranges and lemons, so a bit like the Abracadabra, you've got the Jumping Gene included in here, but those lovely, hot, fiery colours. These create focal points in the garden. They're definitely, talking points. They're specimen plants, and one that you will have in your garden for decades as well. Roses live for such a long time, and they're pretty easy to look after, honestly. Please don't think that they're difficult, because that's why I avoided having roses for such a long time. I'm so glad I've got them in my garden now. 530249 is the item number. Go to yougarden.com, by the way, if you'd like to place your order. And then, we did show Abracadabra. We've got Abracadabra again. 530316 is the item number if you want to go for the Abracadabra. That is the bare root there. And the one that we are missing was the Raspberry Ripple, which is this one here, another Jumping Gene. So all you've got to do is choose the colour that talks the most to you, the one that you want in your garden, or the two, I should say, because this is a buy one, get one free, and it's a mix and match. So choose the two you want. Doesn't matter if there's the same or two different ones, one of them will be free, as long as you use the code YGTV5124. Bulbs is the next one. Major clearance deal on these. It's $3.99 no matter which packet of bulbs you're going for that we've selected for our show today. Crocus species mixed, 40 bulbs, $3.99. 600082. Spring Festival, 3 different types in here. You've got the iris there, 20 of those you're going to get. You will also get 20 of the allium mollies, that's those ones, the yellow sparkler ones, and you'll get 20 of the triclias as well. Beautiful flowering, some spring flowering bulbs you've got there, 600259, $3.99 per packet. First spring mix is what we've got with the crocus and the tulips, and I like this colour combination. I like the combination of the flowers as well, because the tulips are slightly shorter and they are slightly earlier flowering, so you should get that mixed, that crossover of colour. 600244 if you want to go for those. Oh, and you could mix in the tete-a-tetes with those, actually. That'd be a really nice combination if you put the tete-a-tetes in the same bowl, in the same pot, that's the word I'm looking for. 30 of those included, and those are the shorter daffodils. Those are about 15 centimetres in height, and you get multiple flowers per bulb as well. But if you want the classic, the taller, the standard tulip, then yes, these are the King Alfreds. These are the ones you want to go for. Bright yellow, trumpet flowers you've got there, and there are 20 bulbs in a bag. Really high quality bulbs, nothing squishy, nothing mushy. These are perfect quality, so do grab yourself whichever bags you want to get whilst they are in our clearance section. 600431. And we've also got the Fritillarias, the snake's head. Love these, love the nodding flowers, the colour combination, that snake's head patterning, and the fact that these do actually want to be in a slightly shadier position. A lot of bulbs want to be in the, you know, the bright sunny spot, and you don't have to worry about that with these, because these will go under your shrubs or under your acers, as Neil has done with his. 600133 if you want to go for those. £3.99 for a bag of 30. That's a really good price. Same price on the classic Tulip Triumph Red as well here. 25 bulbs in there, and it really is a classic. Absolutely adored growing these. I really did love having these in my garden a couple of years ago. They were fantastic. £3.99 for a bag of 25 there. 600001 if you want your classic Triumph Tulip. Oh yeah, Pansy Cool Wave, the last of our winter garden bedding. It is a pack of 10 garden-ready plants. It's £4.99 if you would like to go for those. £4.49 if you're in the club, because you will get that 10% discount included by being in the club. If you're not in the club, please do join the club now. It's really important to do it now, and you will thank me for that from the 6th of January. So do it now, please. I'm not allowed to say anything else. I've already got in trouble today. Right now, it's £5 to join, and that will last you 12 months. One cost £5, and that £5 will then give you 10% discount right now of every plant and accessory order for the next 12 months. £5 off every outdoor living and gifts order. You'll also get £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers to use throughout the year. There's loads more happening in the club coming up in the new year. So join now while you can at this price.
Hear my antlers.
Are they rattling?
They do make a bit of a noise.
You sure it's those and not your brain?
No, it might be my neck. To be honest.
Right, let's talk about some fragrance in the garden, shall we? You were talking about the Daphnes.
Yeah.
Who was it who broke the Daphne? Was it John who broke the Daphne?
Well, sort of.
Or was it you who broke
basically,
the
we were doing
Is John watching and I'm getting you into trouble now?
Well, no, we was doing a TikTok video in the garden, and we had sort of an easel, and we had like an idiot board thing up. Right. And the wind blew.
Oh, and it knocks it onto the Daphne.
And it came straight down on top of my Daphne.
We can't blame John for that.
And it's like your roadie, it split the Daphne straight down the middle.
Yeah.
But the half that sort of remained upright has survived.
Has it?
Yeah, but the other half literally was just hanging on by the, just by the bark, so it had it.
Does it take it away?
But the other half has survived. But that's Daphne Perfume Princess.
Right, this one's Pink Fragrance.
This is Pink Fragrance, and again, it doesn't matter if it's Perfume Princess or this one. The fragrance is universal with Daphne's. I mean, and it is such an incredible sweet fragrance.
It's sweet, isn't it? That's the thing with Daphne, and I love that sweet fragrance. Really
sweet, and also unusual times of the year. I mean, Daphne's will flower in the winter time, very late winter, or same thing in midwinter, sometimes into spring. And when you walk through a garden, you'll actually find a Daphne with your nose, before you'll find it with your eyes, especially on a sort of a warm or a sort of a mild winter day or warm spring day. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Evergreen as well, so you always have that sort of lovely evergreen foliage
and
on there.
quite slow growing. They don't get massive quick, do they?
No, they're quite slow growing. They do like to give them a really sort of balanced liquid feed as well. Blooming fast is really, really good because sometimes they can get a little bit hungry for trace elements, things like iron and magnesium and stuff like that. But in the growing season, give them a sort of a liquid feed, a couple of times a month, and that will just keep the foliage really nice and healthy. And then you'll start to see when they mature, you start to see flower buds develop sort of late summer into the autumn.
I'm sure I can't remember which Daphne I've got, but I'm sure there's flowers coming on it right now.
Yeah, I've got mine's about to flower. It probably is Perfume Princess because that's one of the sort of earliest ones to come out. But again, a lovely evergreen plant, so interesting all the year through. That really, really lovely foliage, a nice compact plant that's really, really good for growing in pots as well if you want. And then these beautiful, beautiful pink flowers with that really super sweet fragrance over a long period of time. Definitely one worth trying.
Well, as you say, perfect pot plant, but great to go into borders as well.
Yeah. The picture you saw just there before that one, that wasn't this Daphne, that's another Daphne. But this one is definitely pink fragrance.
And it's in a 12cm pot, so you've got a decent amount of establishment going on there already, and it's just £14.99 or £13.49 if you are in the club. Well worth getting hold of that because you've not only got the evergreen nature of the foliage, but also that beautiful fragrance that you're going to get from the flowers. Next up, though, we've got our Appletini. Appletini. You're going to actually grow apples on here, but these are nice and petite apples.
Yeah, they say about golf ball size, isn't they? I think we're saying. And
it's a little bit bigger, but not massive at all.
Literally kind of, if you can't eat a huge, great big apple and you like apples and you just want a couple of nice, crispy, sweet, crunchy bites of an apple.
Sweet.
They're
sweet.
Lovely. Yeah, these are absolutely fantastic. In fact, Bex and I were saying before the show they should make a drink called Appletini, shouldn't they? I know they've got one called apple.
There must be an
There's apple ties, isn't there? But I can just imagine Appletini being a really lovely sort of sweet,
I feel like it's got to have
fizzy.
alcohol in it though.
Yeah,
it's called an Appletini.
Yeah,
it's got to have alcohol.
Oh, it's
apparently
a cocktail. Oh, there you go.
I'm sure we've looked this up before.
And do they use the apples from Appletini tree to make it?
They should do.
But
vodka and either apple juice or cider.
Oh, there you go.
Vodka and cider. It's taking me back to my university days, that. Garnished with a cherry.
But it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds nice.
Very nice.
But this
one... you
one...
can add apple schnapps if you want to.
Well, I mean, it's a season for it, isn't it? It's just a time of year for such...
It's the season to be merry.
For such things. But the good thing about the Appletini rose, it's not a rose, apple, same family, different plant. Good thing about the Appletini, apple, is that it looks brilliant when the fruit's on there because the fruit look attractive in their own right.
Well, the blossom looks amazing first of all, so you get this lovely blossom. And anybody who watches us regularly, you'll remember when I brought my Appletini in. I've got it in a heavy-duty pot. I brought it in. In fact, you and I were on a show together when it had the blossom on, it is the most beautiful blossom, genuinely, really, really pretty blossom. But then you get these apples, and they are lovely, bright red skin you get on there. And then this lovely creamy flesh in the centre. Oh, it's so good.
They say they're great for putting in kids' lunchboxes or anybody's lunchboxes.
My kids didn't get them. I ate them.
Oh well, yeah, but
next year I only had a couple this year because it was a new plant. It was smaller than this when I got it. It was a much smaller one. So I only had a couple this year. But next year I'm going to have loads on there.
Yeah, I mean they're compact trees, aren't they? I think it's only about a couple of metres sort of tall they get eventually. So and quite slow growing and quite a nice sort of tidy habit as well. Yeah. So you can easily grow one of these in a pot, no problem at all. So yeah, just to summarise, you're going to get the fabulous, beautiful apple blossom in the spring with the apple blossom fragrance, which is really, really divine. Then the leaves come on, then you get the fruit looking gorgeous, ornamental even before you pick it. And if you don't like apples, well, you could just leave the apples on. I mean, for instance, if you grow a crab apple tree, you leave the crabs on, don't you? For an ornamental reason. You could do the same with Appletini. But of course, if you love apples, it's going to be brilliant to pick your own really fresh, sweet, gorgeous apples off this little apple tree.
Love it.
It's going to take up no space. And if you're just 5 floors up like Mandy and only got a balcony, well, you can still grow apples.
You absolutely can, yeah, definitely. I do recommend going for our heavy-duty pots if you want to grow those. Of course, you can plant it in the ground if you want to, but if you are looking for growing something in a pot, in a smaller space, our heavy-duty pots will be absolutely perfect for that. You know, they're 30 litre in size. It'll live in there I mean, it could live in there forever, basically. Obviously, you just need to look after the compost in there and make sure you keep feeding it, but it will live in there forever quite happily.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
300210 is the item number if you want to go for the apple teeny, a wonderful plant. I highly recommend because I've got one. The next one is our 4 Seasons Heather collection, and I think this is great for any garden, but if you are looking to create a slightly more low maintenance area in your garden, like my mum has, so they've got 2 massive gardens, a really big front garden area and a really big back garden, and you know, they're in their 70s now, they're struggling. I mean, they're all right. They're doing really well. But it's hard, isn't it, as you get older to maintain all of it. So basically what they've done in the front garden is turn it into a real low-maintenance garden, and it's all about heather.
Well, if we could run outside with the camera now, as we drive in to YouGarden on the left-hand side, there's a huge bed full of heathers that look absolutely mind-blowing all the year through.
Previous owners, I don't know how long we've been here now, but YouGarden have been here for a while, but the previous people that were here, they used to be heather breeders.
Oh, well, you can tell from that. Yeah. Every time I drive in, it always looks great because some of the heathers have got different coloured foliage and they've got different coloured flowers. But yeah, I mean, 6 gorgeous little heather plants here. You've got a mixture there of ericas and kalunas.
Yep.
The kalunas. Now, I'm going to have to be honest with you, the kalunas do generally prefer acid soil, the kalunas. The ericas are not so fussed. I always remember it as ericas can, kalunas can't. But that's how I kind of tend to remember it in my head. But they're really, really super, super healthy plants. Crazy drought tolerant heathers. I mean, they grow up on moorland and in places like that. Brilliant for really hot, sunny positions. So if you think of positions where other plants really struggle, somewhere that's really sun-baked, really dry, quite poor soil, heathers love that kind of position. They don't want to be pampered and fussed and places like that. Once they mature, they form these wonderful carpets of colour. But again, another word that keeps popping up on the show today, evergreen. So even when they're not flowering, you've got that carpet of those lovely little kind of fine little needles on there. And they always remind me, heathers, of when I used to go to Devon and Cornwall on holidays as a kid, because we used to go up to Dartmoor and Exmoor and places like that, and you always saw the wild heather.
There's a walk I do in the Peak District. It takes you up to one of the peaks, and I've completely forgotten the name of it. It starts with an S. But there's an amazing...
Scar Pike? No?
Something... It's not Scarfell.
Scarfell?
No, but it's... Anyway, I'll remember it. It's one of my favourite walks to do in the Peak Districts, and you go up and you follow this lovely stream and you're climbing over all these rocks and boulders and stuff. It takes a few hours to get up. It's beautiful. But the heather in there, I mean, and if you get there at the right time of year as well, the fragrance that comes off the heather, I mean, it's beautiful no matter when you go, and the difference at different times in the seasons is amazing. But if you get there at the right time when all that fragrance is coming, it is the most beautiful walk, honestly.
And the bees and the pollen, they adore heather, don't they? Because it's full of pollen. It's really really attracts them. It's got that lovely nectar in there as well. And this is the first year we haven't gone up to Scotland, but John and I normally go to Scotland at least once or twice a year every year. And I remember a few years back we went October, November time, and the hills were just purple with lavender. I mean,
the shades that you get from it is incredible. And you can get elements of this in your garden with this 4 Seasons Heather collection. 6 9cm pots included. Amazing saving. £26 saving right there. It's just £13.94 or £12.55 if you are in the club for 6 of those. So that's really good. 511 623 is the item number. Next, we're going to move on to the Ceanothus, the Ceanothus Thriciflorus repens. And there's a really special thing about this particular variety, isn't there?
Yeah, this is one of my most favourite Ceanothus because this is a ground cover Ceanothus. This one is a prostrate Ceanothus. Which means ground cover. It's going to not going to grow straight up. It's going to grow sideways.
But it's important to put it in a sunny position because if you don't, it will grow taller.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So these originate from California. That's the part of the world they come from. They grow on these sort of scree slopes. So they will take the hottest, driest, most crazy hot, dry position in the garden possible, and they will grow on the most horrid, poor soil. So if you've got really stony, gravelly, sandy soil that everything else fails on, try Ceanothus. It will love being in that kind of position. Very similar to the calostemums we bring you. And if you put it in a full sun position, it will have this sort of ground cover growth habit. So it will get up a little high and then it will spread sideways and it will form a lovely, great big dome. And then evergreen foliage again as well, another evergreen for you, because we don't want you to have bare sticks all the year through. So you've got that evergreen foliage all the year through, and then in spring, about May time into June, whoa, it's like you've brought the sky down into your garden. It's just a mass of the most stunningly beautiful blue flowers. It's not far off the blue of the colour of your jumper, Bex, to be honest.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It is,
and it absolutely smothers the plant. Yeah, so you've got the evergreen foliage, but you can barely see the foliage because of the flowers.
And that will be a good sort of 4 to 5 weeks that it stays on there. Yeah. And then throughout the rest of the year, it has this weird habit, where every so often, when the mood takes it, it will decide to throw out another few flowers. Might have half a dozen or so. Yeah. But not as bold as in spring, but if you plant it somewhere not so sunny, it will still thrive, but it will become more of an upright shrub. It will become a taller, more wider spreading shrub, but it will still flower for you. It will still look amazing. But it's one of my most favourite Ceanothus, and it's one of the hardier Ceanothus that I've planted. But I love Ceanothus because it flowers about the same time as the Prunus canzan. And it's that time when you go down those streets, and every street, seems to have fabulous shrubs flowering. So, honestly, try this one. It's a real stunner. Looks good all the year through with the foliage, but then those weeks and weeks of blue flower in spring, it's just beguiling. It really is.
It is a beautiful one. 511032. It's only $4.99 for that 9 centimetre pot, so a really good one, and it will get started quite quickly. It's not too slow growing, so don't worry that you're getting a smaller one here. It will really get a move on once you get this planted and springtime comes as well.
And you can trim it. They don't mind it. Gently,
they don't mind it.
Gently trim it. Don't go mad.
Yeah, don't go too far into the wood.
No. Yeah.
But keep it nice, and actually by trimming it on a regular basis, it'll keep it nice and bushy as well.
Yeah, and trim it immediately after it's finished flowering. That's the time to trim it, and then the new growth that comes will then be your flowering wood for the following year.
Okay, moving on to our final one on this table, which is our peony collection. Oh, apparently we've got a question. Hang on. No, the question on the screen is what we need to answer. Sorry, Stu. What is your current favourite houseplant? Neil has answered. I'm going to guess his answer. I reckon it's got to be the Pet Friendly collection, right? Yeah! So Neil bought our Pet Friendly collection, which is 3 plants. They come in the 9 centimetre pots. Actually, I think it might be 12 centimetre pots.
They are 12 centimetre.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, the 6 houseplant collection.
No,
yeah.
the 3.
Oh, the 3. Oh, no, the 6
friendly.
I know the 6 is 12 centimetre.
Neil got this collection here, which includes the Tenanthi Bolmarxii, which is a relative of Calathea. You've got the spider plant, classic house plant there. And Adam's favourite, that's the Nephrolepsis, that's the Boston fern. All of those are pet friendly, so non-toxic. Doesn't matter if you've got pet. So I've just got a new puppy who is beautiful, but I'm having to teach him everything. Obviously, I'd forgotten about this. Otis, my nearly 5-year-old dog, he's not bothered about houseplants because we've taught him not to chew them. Yeah. Whereas I'm having to teach the little one, you can't chew that, it'll kill you. So yes, we're having to move things around to make sure. It has to go
up high, doesn't it?
It has to go up high. I'm having to teach him stuff. Whereas if you are worried about those sorts of things, and I know it's more difficult with cats as well, because obviously they can get up and onto stuff. The Pet Friendly collection is a great one to go for. So Neil has gone for that, and he's also going to go for the cat grass that we were talking about earlier on, because he's got a lovely cat called Rocky. So yeah, Rocky's going to have a little treat, because that's a one that cats actually can chew.
Talking about cats, have you seen the online videos of cats attacking Christmas trees?
Yeah, I love it. And then, but then you've got adults recreating it and leaping at Christmas trees, which is also a really funny one.
But the lengths, people have gone to one person had even put like Perspex panels around their Christmas tree,
and the cat's still jumping into it.
But it still managed to get in there. And then some people hang their Christmas tree from the ceiling.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but the cat still managed to jump, and the cat was hanging off the bottom of the Christmas tree, and it was spinning round. But yeah, and there was one where the cat was asleep in the top of the Christmas tree, and then another one where the cat jumped up and the whole tree
fell over.
Came down, baubles everywhere.
I saw this one where literally a woman, Christmas tree set up in the corner, and she came running in and just leapt at this Christmas tree. It all snapped and broke in half because she was doing an impression of her cat.
Oh.
Silly social media. Right, peonies, let's talk about these, because this is a bag of 3 of our peonies. They are bare roots. They're all hardy, which is important to point out, so completely winter hardy. I'm holding a bare root right there, look. So that's what you're going to get. There'll be 3 of them. You get beautiful colours. They work really well together, because obviously, you know, they meld quite nicely. You've got the white, the red, and that gorgeous pink. But these are really, really easy, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, it's been a year for peonies, isn't it? Because we had a couple of free gifts as peonies, didn't we?
Yeah.
And yeah, we brought sort of different peonies to you. And I think probably they're one of Bex's and I's favourite perennial plants, peonies. There's a lot of history to peonies. You see them in old paintings. You see them in architecture. You know, they've been around for many years. And they are such a super tough plant. A peony could last 50, 60, 70 years. And once they're planted, they almost need no attention whatsoever. There's only one secret to getting peonies to thrive, and it's right at the start of their life, and that's to plant them really, really shallow. Peonies hate being planted deeply. You plant them deeply, they won't flower. You'll only ever get leaves. So plant them really, really shallow, and then just leave them, and year after year after year, once they establish, on some peonies you'll get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even a dozen stems come up, and each stem will have 4 or 5 flowers on it, and for a good sort of 4 or 5 weeks you can have these stunning, beautiful flowers. Some have got fragrance as well. Sometimes it's stronger than others, but even when the flowers are finished, peony foliage is really, really attractive. They look great even when they're finished flowering, and then in the autumn, foliage turns a lovely yellowy colour. So even in the autumn they add something to the garden. But peonies are absolutely fantastic. These are bare root peonies. What I would probably suggest with these, the bare root ones, myself, I would pot these on when you get them home into some of our compost, and then just keep them somewhere, doesn't have to be sort of frost free, but just keep them somewhere sheltered for the winter time. Make sure they're out of the way of squirrels or rabbits or anything like that can dig them up. Grow them on a little bit in the spring till they've got, you know, a few leaves on, and they've got a nice sort of fibrous root system, and then I would transplant them into the final position where you want them to be, and then just enjoy them for the rest of your life. Because honestly, you know, a peony can outlive a human. They live such a long time.
580004 is the item number if you want to go for our hardy peony collection. You will get 3 of those bare roots in that bag, and as Adam was just saying, I mean, decades and decades of life and joy you will get out of those beautiful peonies. They are a half price deal as well, taking a £10 off that one. As long as you use the offer code YGTV5124, you'll get the saving. You will also get your free gift included in there as well, which is that bag of bulbs. We are going to move on to a little grow your own thing now, and these are the raspberry long canes. We're very keen on grow your own here at YouGarden. I do a bit of grow your own in my garden, and it's because I think I've got kids, so I want to show them you know, food just doesn't come in plastic bags from the supermarket. It's really exciting to grow your own as well. You know, there's nothing that tastes as good as when you've actually grown it and put that effort in and picked it yourself. This year, what did I grow this year? So I've got my honeyberries growing, but they were baby, so I only got a couple of them this year, but they were delicious, very nice. I planted blueberries earlier on in the year. I've got the lovely trio of blueberries. I've also planted the pink lemonade as well. But again, that was earlier on this year, so I haven't had any blueberries yet. I'm hoping to get those next year. So really, I guess my my success this year for Grow Your Own was I got a few apples, and obviously I've got my Everbearer strawberries. So I was really enjoying the Everbearer strawberries earlier on in the year. Do you do much fruit and grow your own?
I don't do an awful lot, but
you're more about, you know, your tropical planting, aren't you?
But got honeyberry. We did got honeyberry as well, and they had loads of honeyberries on, which John and I really enjoyed. I grew some fantastic cucumbers called Socrates.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying about those.
Oh my goodness, I think everybody in Swaffham ended up, you know, with cucumbers from us, because we had so many of those, and we grew some really fantastic little cherry tomatoes, and they did really well.
Oh, tomatoes, yeah.
Yeah, so we grew the cucumbers and the tomatoes in the greenhouse. Yeah, and they did really well. I had a fantastic year for them.
I wish I'd kept my tomatoes. Actually, I could have answered this as one of my answers to the questions. I had my Sun God Super Sweets again for the second year running.
Can't go wrong with them.
Loved them.
Yeah.
But I put them out, so I had them growing in the conservatory, and then I was like, oh, summer's coming, I put them outside. And it's quite a job moving, because they're, you know, So I put them outside, and then we had a rubbish summer. So I wish I hadn't put them outside. I wish I kept them in the conservatory, because it took ages for everything to ripen this year.
And if you can keep your tomatoes under glass all the way through the summer, they're massively less likely to get blight than being outside.
I had a good crop, but they took ages to ripen up, so I'll be thinking about that next year.
It was a perishing cold start to the summer. I mean, the spring was cold, then early summer was cold, wasn't it? And things really struggled to take off. But it's
because I went on holiday, you see. We had like a week or 5 days where we went to the Peak District. I thought I'd just put them outside because I've got somebody coming around to water the plants. So I was like, that'll just make life easier than having to come in the house and do it. And then thought, I can't be bothered to bring them back in, and I wish I had now. Anyway.
Probably what you should have done as well is what they call hardened them off a little bit. Probably you should have acclimatised them.
Yeah, and I didn't. I just chucked them outside.
Yeah, so you can imagine going, straight from that lovely warm conservatory
to outside.
I
know them, and I will give that advice. I will always give the right advice, but do I follow that?
As gardeners, we don't always take our own best advice, do we? Sometimes we
I was like, chuck it, they'll be fine, chuck them outside.
Yeah, and you know in your head it's not right, but you somehow think you're going to cheat nature.
Supposed to harden them off. What are you doing? Chuck them out, they'll be all right.
That's it, yeah. But that's gardening. The fun of gardening is quite often learning by experience.
Yeah. We learn by our mistakes.
All the time, yeah.
Right, let's talk about raspberries, shall we? These are the long cane raspberries. What do we mean by that, Adam?
Well,
what is the benefit of having long canes?
I used to know them as primo cane as well, raspberries.
Primo cane.
Good thing about now, normally, to just backtrack a little bit, normally when you buy raspberries, not roses, when you buy raspberries, they arrive...
Short canes.
Yeah, little short canes like that.
Yes.
So, say they arrive now, and then you'd plant them. Well, next year you wouldn't get any fruit. You'd have to wait till 2026 because you've got to wait for those little stumpy canes to grow lots of new shoots, which will then give you fruit in 2026.
But this is for your summer bearing raspberries, which is what these are.
Yeah.
If you've got autumn ones, it's slightly different.
Yeah. But what they've done with these ones is they haven't cut them down. These have got the previous year's growth on them, which means these buds are going to be flower buds. Not for 2026, for 2025.
Yeah, so we're talking about fruit in the first year.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait another year. It's fruit in the first year, and that is the benefit to you.
Exactly. So you don't have to wait a whole year with no fruit on the raspberries.
Yeah.
And then, you've got to wait all the way through till 2026 for your first crop of raspberries. These will flower in the first year. So when you get these home and plant them, don't cut them down.
No.
Leave them the exact same height they are now. All I would do is, you see on the top, at the very top of here, you see on the very top, they're a little bit
free,
where they're a little bit snaggy. Just with a sharp pair of secateurs, take that top snaggy bit.
Just to the first bud?
Yeah, just down to above the first bud. So you've got a nice clean cut. Soak them for 24 hours in a bucket of water and then plant them. You'll get planting instructions with these. Plant them and they will give you fruit. You'll be picking raspberries from these in 2025.
Yes.
Incorporate lots of nice organic material into the soil as well, because raspberries like a really kind of rich, fertile soil.
And don't let them dry out.
Don't let them dry out. Yeah, water them really, really well. Obviously, give a little bit of support for them as well. I mean, if you grow them in a pot, you can do like a little wigwam thing with bamboo canes. If you're going to grow them in the garden or the allotment, you could put some stakes and some wires across. But honestly, these are a really, really beautiful variety of raspberry, really sweet, delicious, sumptuous raspberries that you can eat fresh, that you can put into pavlovas, you can make into jams, you can do all those sort of things with. And then by the end of next year, what you'll see is from the base of these, lots of other new green shoots will come up. Leave those shoots because those shoots will then be your fruit for 2026.
Amazing. Honestly, love that idea. I'm impatient. I want my fruits next year. And that's what you're going to get with the raspberry long canes. If you would like some pots for them to go in, if you want to create the lovely little wigwam kind of structure with these, if you haven't got the space to plant them, then do go for our heavy duty pots. We've got a pack of 3 of them. Yeah, £12.99. And with 10 canes, you can do a 3, a 3 and a 4 maybe, just to spread those out amongst the 3 pots. I wouldn't do more than that though, because they'll just get a bit too overcrowded, and you don't want raspberries to be overcrowded. 130002 is the item number. Obviously, you can grow all sorts in. We've grown loads in ours over the years. I mean, I've got my blueberries in there, 4 different varieties. I've grown tomatoes previously, potatoes. I've got a cherry blossom tree, I've got a rose, I've got a cordyline growing, this was supposed to be a temporary home for Sean's euonymus, but it's been there for about 4 years, so it looks like it's become a permanent home. But you're not just going to use them for planting in. Decant your compost in there. It makes it much easier. When you're doing your deadheading and weeding and, you know, all of that sort of stuff, it goes in there. Store your most used tools in there. That's what I do. It's got my kneeling pad, my secateurs, my little trowel, my little shovel. I go and pick that up, take it outside, obviously empty it out, and then I've got to use it to put all my trimmings in. I like Adam's idea, which is if you're harvesting your potatoes, for example.
Yeah, potatoes or carrots, and you know the soil's really wet and they're all muddy, aren't they, and horrible. Just put your potatoes or carrots in here. Put the bucket, the pot over some soil, and then blast over the top with a hose pipe, and you've got yourself a giant colander. So you wash all the soil off, all goes back into the ground,
That's a great idea.
and you've got lovely clean vegetables to take indoors.
Fantastic, honestly, the best thing you'll buy, the thing you'll have in the garden for the most, well, maybe not the most years, but you'll use them so much. 130002 is the item number. What are you going to go for? Are you going for the rose buy one get one free? What about our bulbs that we've got on clearance? What about our amazing Helix pots that we were showing you, which is a buy one get two free, 3 different colour options. There's a lot to choose from. We've got bare roots and we've got evergreen shrubs. Maybe it's the Nandina on the best ever price. It's entirely up to you, but maybe you want a little bit of I don't know, height, elegance, beauty in your garden. I'm going to recommend maybe this one here, which is the lilac palabin, the standard. I've got this in my garden, and in springtime, when this is in bloom, when this has got those gorgeous flowers on there, the fragrance, I mean the beauty first of all, but the fragrance is incredible.
Yeah, I mean this is also known as Korean lilac, and the good thing about this particular lilac is normal lilac, like Syringa vulgaris, it flowers in May, doesn't it? And you'll get perhaps some 2-3 weeks max.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it.
And they get massive.
And they get massive. The flowers go over. This one has a big flowering season in the spring. Look at that, beautiful. Look at the lovely sort of deep kind of pinky purple colour there as well.
I like the shades that you get, because you've got pinky and purple in there as well.
Yeah, in that one flower, and the shades and the shape. I love that kind of, you know, head of flower on there as well. But once it's done its main flowering, it does this thing as well where it keeps throwing out flowers throughout the summer. I remember I used to look after a garden for a lady in Buckhurst Hill some years ago, and she had one of these. It wasn't a standard one, it was a kind of a normal one, but it was on a bank at the front of her garden. And it used to keep flowering pretty much all through the summer, on and off. And the fragrance used to walk past. It was like, oh, what is that lovely sweet fragrance? It sort of floats on the breeze
as well.
Yeah,
so it kind of
really,
it can
really
fill
nice.
a garden. I can see all the bud points
already
going up here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is exactly what mine looks like in the garden at the moment. You know, it does look a bit twiggy and a bit bare, but honestly, this bursts into life, and it is so worth the wait.
And it's tough, isn't it?
It's so tough.
Stupid, frost resistant.
Really, really winter hardy.
Not fussed about soil in particular, and actually lilacs do very well on very limey, chalky soils as well. So if you've got a really chalky, limey soil where other things struggle, lilacs will love that. They'll love growing in that kind of soil.
Great price as well. So normally £40, but we've taken £15 off that. So it does mean you are getting an incredible deal on that one. It's a true feature, that one. I mean, if you can get a couple either side of, or maybe even like in a border, you know, in an odd number and then underplant. I mean, that beautiful.
Yeah.
So while we've got that price, I would take advantage of that if you can. 510317 is the item number for that Syringa. You might want some pots for them to go into, and these pots would be perfect. Absolutely. These would work really nicely for this. Certainly.
That would easily be okay
for a few years.
Yeah, first couple of years, and then once it's matured, you can just pop it out into the garden.
Yeah.
And you can sort of do various things as well. You can leave it just to take on its natural shape, or if you want to, you could just shape it round to make it more of a perfect ball shape. Completely up to you, whatever you want to do.
Well, which pot are you going to go for? What colour do you want? I've put it in, well, Adam's put it into the powdered clay here, but you do have options. You are going to get 3 for the price. Well, actually, they're £12.99 on our website. So, YouGarden TV viewers, it's £11.99. But we're actually going to give you 2 for free if you enter the code YGTV5124.
Do you have a fave?
No. It's hard to say with this one. Okay, for me, I'm going to go with these 2. I want the bronze and I want the powdered clay, because I like the combination of those 2. But
I like the bronze. I really love the bronze.
Yeah, I quite like the bronze. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like that colour, and you can just see if I just move it for you slightly. There you go. So you can just sort of see that. As the sun catches it, the light catches it, that's going to look lovely. And I like the contrast you're going to get with the dark coloured pot and the foliage. Or maybe when we were talking about putting the Loropetalum in here, which has got that dark foliage, adding some light coloured stone around the top of there to really highlight that contrast even more. And I like anything that's a bit terracotta, you know?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes, Bex, it's horses for courses, isn't it? Because say you want to create a Tuscan kind of garden or an Italian kind of garden, where you'd
go for the terracotta.
You go for the terracotta. Imagine that with red geraniums, bright red geraniums, and a really gorgeous standard fuchsia in the middle. You know, that could look really, really good, couldn't it? But then if you want to go for, say, something a little bit more Japanese in feel, you might want to go for sort of the darker coloured pot to put some aces in or something like that. So that's the great thing about having these colour choices. You can sort of change the mood, you can select the mood, and yeah, if you've got yourself like all 3 sets, well, we're past the shortest day. Yes! Yay! We're heading towards spring.
If you do want all 3, so put 1 of each into your basket, enter the code, you will get 2 of each, that's 6 in total, free when you enter that code. And so this is a really awesome time to take advantage of this deal. Plus, if you've already bought some of our Helix planters in the past, we did a 40 centimetre one, I think. We had a bigger one and we had a smaller one, basically. So it'd be really nice to maybe get the family of pots going on there. Stu's added the black and bronze and the Helix clay planters into his basket, and he's entered the code. You can see we've got 4 pots for free there. The problem is, look, yeah, it needs to get over 40 quid, so we need another, what, £5-6 adding into there. What are you going to get? We could get a couple of bags of bulbs for £3.99 each. We could get, oh yeah, the freckled clematis. Why not? How much was the freckled clematis? I can't remember. Was it £5.99? Lovely. So yes, let's add that one into our basket, shall we? From £9.99, but look, we've got the code in, so you can see that that is £5.99. Let's add that in and view our basket. We've now got free postage. We are saving £78.45, by the way. It also says your club member saving is £4. I mean, let's take that out. We can join and save £4. Now, the club membership is going to cost us £5 today to join. It's only costing you like £1 at the moment because obviously you're saving £4. But that means that you are then going to save 10% on every single order you make for the next 12 months. Or at least that's what we're doing at the moment. Let's see what happens in the new year. Now's the best time to join the club. Best time ever. Also, by entering that code, you will get a free gift included into your basket. And that is the Endless Spring Mix collection of bulbs. It's worth £6.99. It will be free when you enter that code. And you're going to get the grape hyacinth. You are going to get the tulip saxatilis. And you are going to get the Narcissus canaliculatus. So free gift. Just enter that code so that you can get your free gift when you check out with your basket.
Look up that canaliculatus, and I think it means ridged, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's to do with when you look at the petals around the edge of the centre of the flower, they've kind of got little ridges in the petal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because they're all Latin or Greek words that describe a habit of a plant, and I think that's what it was. Just bugging me. I thought, I need to Google that. Because that's the thing with gardening. You could garden for 100 years. You still don't know everything.
No, it's very true.
Always new stuff to learn.
Right, we're just going to show you a couple of the items on the favourites table. They're all winners. They're all amazing, but unfortunately we are running out of time. We're going to talk to you about the Clematis freckles. Why do I want Clematis freckles and not a different Clematis?
Well, first of all, just look at it. I mean, it is stunning. Was a plant ever more aptly named? Freckles. I mean, you just look at that. It's got those freckly flowers, doesn't it? They look fantastic. But it's got other fabulous attributes, this Clematis. It's evergreen. Yeah. So all the year through, it's looking glorious, even in the winter time. And then it does this really daft thing. It decides to flower in the winter. So, you know, crazy little plant, as Stu's just said. But it's tough, it's resilient, and on a winter's day, you've got this growing up some trellis, you've got it growing over a pergola or an arbour, you've got it perhaps growing up through another plant that's lost all its leaves, and you've got these beautiful, beautiful little nodding flowers on a winter's day, looking absolutely gorgeous with that evergreen foliage. And I even like the leaves, Bex. They're really nice, interesting shaped leaves on this as well, aren't they?
Definitely.
Really sort of nicely etched on the sort of notched leaves on there, really super healthy plant. So if you want a Clematis that sort of bucks the the trend. If you want a clematis that's not just a load of boring, wiry sticks during the winter with nothing going on, and then even in the summer, all the flowers are up the top or over in your neighbour's garden and you're just looking at brown stems at the base, go for this, because you've got evergreen, you've got flower. I'm tempted to say there's a little bit of fragrance on this as well, but I might be thinking of another variety. But certainly you've got the evergreen foliage, you've got the flowers, and you've got a plant that's going to live for many, many years. And there's a garden that I look after in Woodford, and for donkey's years, there's been one of these growing over a pergola for years, and we always go there either late winter or very early spring, and it's always in full flower that time of year.
Love it. 550-221 is the item number if you'd like to go for our evergreen clematis, which is called Freckles. Also flowers for ages as well. Like, you get a really long flowering season from that one. And the other one we're going to talk to you about on our favourite stable. I love it. I got it. It's the central focal point of my sort of outdoor display on the table at the moment, and that is the Nandina Firepower. I adore this plant because it is so very easy to plant, to look after. It's just dead simple, this one.
Well, you know, there we go. So there's a garden that John and I designed just outside Hoddesdon. That's been there a few years now, and we planted Nandinas in there with these lovely yew cones in between, looking really, really glorious. The one at the end is Nandina domestica, which is another type of Nandina, but is much taller. But you know, they look like this all the year through. So if you want a plant that's going to give impact all the way through the year with minimum input, without you fiddling or fussing, it's not going to make a mess. You haven't got leaves to clear up. You're not looking at bare sticks all the way through the winter. You've always got this beautiful, beautiful new growth that comes out super, super red. Then it goes down to that lovely glossy green. These even flower for you as well, where they're really, really happy. They have little conical heads of white flower that then produce berries. It's hardy, it's drought tolerant, it's compact, it's slow growing. In fact, if you hate gardening, and you don't want to be out gardening all the time, and you just want to
What are you watching this programme for?
And you just want to fill a space and leave it, and you want it to look good forever with minimum input, buy some of these. Are you getting nagged to make a part of the garden look good and you don't want to do it? Well, this is a secret. Plant these, job done forever. You'll never get nagged again to do that part of the garden, because it will look as good when you did it today as it will in 5 years' time.
Here is my Nandina in all of its glory. Those are, by the way, in the little pots around it, those are my Caribbean lilies that are starting to flower. And also you can see one of my spiral olives just in the background there, look. Ah.
Oh, and your little weeping willow, your
Love
little
it there.
Kilmarnock willow there, is on the left.
No, that's a bamboo.
Oh, no, on the left. Go to
Oh,
the,
yes,
go,
on the left there. Yes, sorry, that is the Kilmarnock.
Kilmarnock willow.
You're
there.
absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh, that's the black stem bamboo as well, isn't it?
That was my camera roll. It's fine. There's nothing naughty in there. It's fine. Don't worry. It is puppy spam in there. And also, just want to show you my smug face. Anyone that follows me on social media, you will have seen this, but that's my smug face from Friday, because I finally planted all my bulbs.
That is a relief, isn't it?
That picture marks the day the final bulb went in.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
You know, if I could have £1 for every bulb that got left in a customer's shed and never got planted, I wouldn't be here. I'd be on my own private island somewhere.
That's true.
The amount of times I've walked into... Sorry, customers, if you're watching, I do love you. But you know you've done it. Lots of times I've walked into customer's shed in spring and there's just this mouldy pack of daffodil bulbs that's never made it into the ground. And you think, oh, that's sad. Yeah, so it does feel like a triumph once you finally got them in the ground.
I felt so glad.
Yeah,
I felt so happy.
It's like a relief, isn't it? Job done.
It's done. We do have some bulbs available for you. They are available. They're on a clearance price at the moment. They're $3.99. There's a mixture in there. There's tulips, there's crocus. There's some wonderful varieties called the Snake's Head, the Fritillaria. Go to the website to find out everything that we have got for you. There's loads and loads on there. Just make sure that when you go to the website, you enter, so put something in your basket and enter the code YGTV5124, because you'll see your free gift is in there and you'll know that you've entered the code. Then come back to this page, because all the prices you can see then will be the price that you will pay. Look, if we take the code out, let's remove this so we can show you. Code removed. Now go back to the YouGarden TV page, look. Once we scroll down, you can see all the prices have increased here. It just makes it a bit more difficult to shop, doesn't it? Because you don't know what you're actually paying. So this is why Stu always wants us to say this to you. The top tip is just add something into your basket, enter the code and come back to this page. And then you can see the actual prices that you are going to be paying. So much on there, loads of colour, loads of flowers, loads of perennials, just things that you can and should be doing in your garden at this time of year, or will look amazing in your garden at this time of the year. Right, so I've got a few things that I need to remind you of. You need to tune in for our Christmas specials. Because this is the last day of work. Out of Office is going to be on in the next 3 minutes. That's it, I'm done. Couple of weeks off, woohoo! But we have pre-recorded some shows for you, so if you'd like to get your little gardening fix, maybe there's a little bit of downtime between now and the new year and you're like, actually I just want to watch a bit of gardening, then you can tune in. They will be released from Boxing Day. We've also answered all of the questions that we've been asking Adam and yourselves as well, so you know, successes, mistakes, all those sorts of things. Bit of footage from my garden, bit of footage from Sean's garden as well. You'll also get to see how much better I am at the puzzle questions than Sean is. I could say that because he's not here. Merry Christmas, Sean, if you're watching. Yeah, so do that. Have a little look. Tune into our shows. Do watch those. And we will be back live on Thursday, the 2nd of January. It's a Thursday, so we'll be live at 10 a.m. Please come and join us for that. We want to hear all about your Christmas and your New Year. And we want to hear all about your New Year's resolutions and what you're going to be doing in your garden in 2025. Adam, got any New Year's resolutions?
I did. Right,
yeah, actually. So what is your advice that you're going to give yourself? What would you have given yourself in 2024?
Well,
what would you do in 2025?
It's like so many people talk about these days. I just find sometimes I'm spending too much of my life doing, and I need to just sit down and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Because I love my garden, but so often I'm just not sitting down and taking time to take it in and enjoy it. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to finally train myself next year to to stop and set aside some time to sit in my garden and take it in.
Absolutely, yeah, it's really important. It's one of the things I said. Like I didn't put aside enough time this year.
Time for yourself.
Time.
Yeah.
The time is one of the most important things, isn't it? Right, we did get an email from Dave. So this is Dave's favourite houseplants. Let's have a little look. Ooh. Oh, look, that's us on the telly. Beautiful man. Thank you so much.
Oh, these are hippeastrums, aren't they? Or amaryllis.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
well done, Adam. I'm glad you're here.
Amaryllis, amaryllis.
Amaryllis.
Rock me, amaryllis.
I think it's the same picture. Hold on.
I love
yes,
amaryllis.
It is. It's the same picture. Thank you for putting it in there twice. So good, he attached it twice.
My nephew has got an amaryllis I bought him 3 years ago to flower 3 years running.
Really?
A white one, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which is really, really cool.
That's
really
amazing.
Good.
All right, I'm just checking in the YouTube chat, making sure nobody's put anything in there. Everyone just saying Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all.
Happy Christmas,
I hope
everyone.
you have a wonderful time. Lots of love to anybody who finds this particular time of year very difficult. I know when we've lost loved ones, that can be really hard. So we send you all our love and best wishes, and we look forward to spending another year with you again. I feel all emotional. To spending another year with you again in 2025. We'll be in the potting shed. We will be on QVC. We'll be on TikTok if you want to come and join us on there as well. I'll be here. Sean will be here. Adam will be here as well. We would love to have your company. Thank you so much for joining us this year. We really appreciate it. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much. That's it from us.
Happy Christmas and lots of love to all of you.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody. Bye.